Okay, welcome back to our Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea campaign. This is session 62. We are doing our partially through the way of the module beneath the comet, and as the module is named, there has been a comet in the sky. It's been about a month or so. The party has found this strange map that, when looked upon under the light of the comet, shows a map, basically. It would seem blank before, although there was some kind of magic to it. So they have headed out into basically the Gall Hills, or an area called the Heath, which is kind of this hilly area. It's very, very cold. It's year 11, month 12, and it is the fourth day. It is roughly negative 30 degrees right now, snowing very, very much, over a foot an hour, and it is, they're kind of on this small hill embankment. They had seen below some kind of an item, some kind of large cylinder made out of strange metal that was being dug up by these Apemen that were kind of strange, with these very large heads, kind of really like 2-3 times the size of a normal head. And they were waiting to see kind of what went on when the invisible and flying wizard Eka left the party, presumably to investigate. But as we start off, they've been waiting an hour-ish, and Eka has not returned. So we'll go through the party. We'll go through the characters, rather. Everybody introduce their character. Go through the players. Everybody introduce their characters, and we can kind of go from there. It is about midday. I should probably point that out. It's about 4 hours of the day have gone by. All right, I'll start with Nikki. Tell us about your character.
I play Pinesta. She's a bard, and she's just kind of shaking her head because she knows there's probably nothing they can do for Eka. She doesn't really even know where he went, but she's hoping that he is okay. She's looking at these 24 apes with giant heads, and she's wondering just what their powers might be and just how they're gonna go down there to find out what's happening without getting the entire party, putting the entire party in jeopardy. So that's kind of what's on her mind today.
Right, the party is quite weakened too. I probably should have mentioned that because they had an encounter earlier where the pyromancer in the group. Well, Crystal can tell us about it as for actually why, but threw a fireball that affected the entire group. So everybody's quite wounded. Actually, I did not. Well, not everybody. Helene is actually fine, and Brighild, I guess, because she wasn't just standing back. But most of the people that were engaged in melee were pretty injured, including Pinesta, Ernseat herself, and I believe also Puka. Did Puka also get fried? Maybe. We'll find out when we get to it. But in any case, speaking of Brighild, Tony, tell us about Brighild. What's going on with her?
The village is on fire. The huts are burning in the dark as a large barbarian men move from hut to hut, setting fire, wearing these large, oversized furs of bear heads and wolf heads that are making their heads look large, much larger than their normal ones. The old silver-haired woman steps out of the hut, limps out of the hut, more like it. As she comes out, feeble and frail, and she looks and she says to the young girl coming out behind her, she says, "Hand me my spear, for the light will not shine for some of these tonight." As she takes the shaft of the spear from the young girl, one of these large men rushed towards her. She throws and thrusts the spear right into the chest of this large barbarian as he falls, and the pelt of the bear head falls off and rolls to her feet. "What did you say, Pinesta? What did Eka make it back yet? I was thinking about other things. Where is that foolish wizard? Has he made it back yet? It is very cold out here. We need to be moving or find shelter soon." It is Brighild, the imposing, the warlock.
Excellent. Crystal, tell us about your character.
Thinking back to her master, she can hear his voice in his head. Fire is alive. Fire is wild. If you do not control it, it will burn and consume everything. Then a flash in her mind from the fireball she threw earlier. And just in that moment, as she sees the fireball expanding, her eyes go wide as she sees an eye, a frog eye, stare back at her through the cloud. She closes her eyes tightly. He's always watching. He's always watching. He's always watching. And opens her eyes again to see only snowfall falling around her. And that is Rowan Seach, the pyromancer.
Excellent. Yeah, she's had a little bit, had a bit of an identification spell go off the charts there a little bit, so she's not feeling so good about her mentally lately. Mike, tell us about your character.
Buka is a Viking berserker who's currently looking over this work camp that is there. The plasma from his burns is slowly leaching out of his skin and dripping into his eyes. He goes to rub his smarting head, but quickly remembers that he no longer has hair or a beard, and kind of wrinkles painfully his face in a grimace as he looks around and he says, how much time do we allow this man? We need to get back. We need to recover before we attempt anything with these creatures. And that's Buka.
Excellent. Rush, tell us about your character.
I am playing Revna Kvaldheim, the Legermanist Viking. And unfortunately, I wasn't I wasn't here last week, so I don't really know exactly what's going on. Other than the eccentric wizard that whose power she respects, but he still grates her nerves sometimes because he's too outgoing for her taste. He's disappeared using his invisibility, which she can do as well, but he seems to be addicted to his own power when it comes to turning himself invisible, and she knows that he's run off, and she stands there with Pinesta as she wonders and worries about where he is, and she just kind of does the same thing and tries to keep a sharp eye, waiting for him to return to see what kind of trouble that he may have gotten himself into. And she tries to pat Pinesta on the shoulder and do her best to reassure her that he's just crazy enough that he's probably going to be okay, and hoping that she's right. And that's Revna.
Awesome. So finally, Yong's going to be taking over the NPC Helene, who is an Amazonian cleric of Auroras, I believe. You want to say anything about Helene yet, Yong? Have you established some kind of a...
Sure, yeah. Helene
I'm
wears her hair in a ponytail interwoven with small bones, and you look upon her and she bears a nasty scar stretching from her left ear to her mouth, and she curses relentlessly, and she says, "Where the hell is that damn invisible bastard? He always causes trouble." And she spits on the ground. why do we wait for him? I'd bet that if we go back to a place where we could rest, he'll probably hover around. Let us just go.
Okay. So Crystal seemed to have fallen out of the stream, but she'll pop back eventually, hopefully. So you guys are looking down upon this scene. It seemed like that some of the Apemen had been like stopped for a bit, maybe looking about, maybe talking to Echo. Who knows? You couldn't really tell from where you're at, but about an hour or so has gone by since he left, and you see that now it seems like they're all back to work again. They seem to be digging up this object, which for those who weren't here last time, basically there's like a long cylinder, you imagine, that's buried in the ground. At least that's how much of it's been revealed. Not much of it's been revealed, maybe like 30, 40 feet of it. It seems like they're digging it up, and there is actually a piece of it that seems to be missing that somewhat matched up with a weirdly shaped piece of metal that you guys found in the home of the strange alchemist. I don't know who has that piece of metal now. Hopefully not Echo. Maybe Echo, who knows?
No, before Eka flew out there, he left it on the ground for everybody to pick up, and then he
right.
flew up there. Yep.
That's right, I remember that. So somebody might have picked it up. That has actually been glowing and feels, whoever's got it in their hand, it feels a little bit warm. And it kind of, if anybody's holding it, it kind of feels like it's almost like pulling you. Not so much that, like, mechanically it's not making your character do anything, but you can feel that it seems almost like that you have a feeling that if you were anywhere in this heath and you had this piece in your hand, it would lead you back to this spot where where they're unearthing this, whatever it might be. So yeah, what do you guys want to do?
Well, Puka had the right idea. As we are, at least some of us are really hurt. We need to find some place to rest or at least recover before we try to engage with these things.
We have no business, I do not think, engaging with these creatures. I mean, whatever they are up to, I don't think they will take kindly. And that foolish wizard that flew off, I'm sure if he's okay, he's always had a knack of sneaking up on us and finding us no matter where we are anyway. I'm sure he will come back and after he observes them for a while, but whatever these creatures are up to, there must be something or someone else guiding them. We should just proceed on with what we need to do.
Okay, so you do know that it would take you about 2 hours ish, a little bit, maybe a little bit longer, to get back to the house where you rested pretty securely last night. You do have tents and stuff, so I mean, you could set up somewhere if you wanted to hunker down, because people are pretty hurt. I didn't realize that. Does anybody want to take the piece of metal, the scrap piece of metal that that Eka made visible and put on the ground, that has a bit of a warmth and seems to be pulling in that direction? Does anybody want to take that, or are you just going to leave it there?
No, we want to take that.
Okay.
Yeah, I can pick it up, or if someone else wants to carry it, but we definitely want to take that.
Yeah, Puka can carry it.
Okay. Right, and I have you on the hex map. So again, you guys are where that little kind of obelisk-looking thing is. That's where you are. You're basically in that. Well, actually, let me get my little pencil out. I can make a little mark here. Select. You guys are basically. I mean, these hexes are a mile, so you're within the hex with this thing, but you're a good distance from it. The alchemist's house is here, and most of this, of course, that you see is kind of this like grassland heath. I mean, at this point, it's just covered with snow and hills, except for the occasional, like over here is like a little bit of woods, and you saw some woods down here and stuff. So, where would you like to go?
Those of you that need rest, it would be most wise probably to return to that cabin and build a secure fire. Myself and the cleric could try to keep double watch so that y'all could all rest through the day and evening.
I agree.
Sounds
Okay.
good to me.
Yeah, if you want to head back, let's just do one check to see if you encounter anything on the way. Go ahead and let's see. Rush. Roll a d6 for me.
Okay. Well, I mistakenly forgot to roll into log in to roll 20, so I'm just going to do it the old-fashioned way. I got a 2.
2. Okay, awesome. Yeah, so you guys head back. Again, you know the way. Even though it's snowing pretty heavily and your tracks are more or less covered, as you're walking back, they're there enough that you know, since you know that there, you can follow them back, and you get back in pretty good time without encountering really anything else along the way. You know, you pass by the site of the combat from before. Nothing's really changed there. And yeah, you get back to this place. And if you remember, it's kind of like a small cottage. It's got that large fire pit inside. It's got a small stream nearby where you guys can get fresh water if you like. And of course, it has the secret place below with you know, with stores and stuff like that. You left a bunch of treasure down there, actually. Because you couldn't carry it all. So that's the below part. I just moved you there. The upper part, there's no map for. It's basically just a small, you know, small room, large table, large fire, some cooking implements, stuff like that. Everybody slept up there, I think, for the most part last time. So probably you know, a bunch of hay scattered all over the ground. And yeah, you can definitely rest up through the night. So if everybody's resting, you can roll your hit dice. So remember, it's half your level, and then that number of dice in hit dice that you can roll to recover. And actually, before you do that, I think just not to tell you what to do, Young, but I think Helene has a couple more healing spells, so she could drop at least 1 or 2 of those if she needed to, because I don't know who's hurt or whatever.
Yeah, she has 1 cure light wound, I believe.
So I don't know who's the most hurt or who wants a healing spell, but
Royal Siege is pretty hurt. I don't know if anyone else does.
I'm at 33%.
Yeah, I was down pretty far too. But I just rolled a few back. So if someone, go ahead, Buka, you take it.
Well, let me roll.
Because it puts me above half now, so I'm good.
Yeah, let me roll a minute and see how I do. So, 12, 30. That'll get me close enough. That gets me there.
nice.
Okay,
I'm
then
fine.
go ahead and
Somebody
heal
else can
Rowan
have it.
Siege.
Yeah.
Yep.
She walks over to Rowan Siege and says, "Well, I'm not so sure whether if you deserve it, but I will go ahead and heal you, because the worst thing that we could do is to lose another party member." And she casts Cure Light Wound on her. 1d8.
Yeah, you can actually roll it from the character sheet if you have that open.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah, I actually took the time to put it in because, you know, I'm good like that.
1d8. Here we go. There.
Yeah, there you go. 4 points. Nice. Yeah, and then Young, if you look at the character sheet, what I did was, of course, now I have to look at it. No, you can see there's like a number of spells listed, how many per you can have per day. You can memorize whatever you like based on those numbers, you know, and just mark it up on there, because you'll be able to rememorize at some point. You guys, you're basically resting for like the rest of the day, and then also over the night, I'm assuming. So you'll have time to rest and also and do that. It's pretty quiet with the snow, and time passes, you know, and you're able to rest up doing your shifts. I guess we'll just see if anything happens. Tony, go ahead, roll me a d6.
Oh no. Oh, it's a 5.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty quiet. Fortunately, nobody messes with your dogs this time. You're able to, you know, replenish your stores, get yourself healed up a little bit, get refreshed, and we come into the day 5 of month 12.
Brick healed on her watch during the night as she's standing outside watching the dogs, and She looks for tracks to come walking across the snow and not seeing a body there, but the tracks itself, as she's hoping that Eka, maybe he would find his way back. But at the end of the night and beginning of the morning, she turns to go back inside and she mutters under her breath, he was a weird person, but I'm sorry, the light just does not shine for all of us, and closes the door.
Excellent. Yeah, nobody messes with the dogs. Everybody can rest up a little bit. Somewhere in Hyperborea, some apes with really large heads are still digging holes. And we'll come into the next day. So yeah, so you guys are, let me move back to the next map. You know that, well, you have your map. You guys have that as a handout, right? That's the information that you have. The reason why you had gone in this direction, if just in case you don't remember, is because you were following the tracks or at least the direction, more or less, of where the people who were trying to steal your dog sleds went. Basically, the other group of adventurers. You didn't see sign of them in this direction, so maybe you didn't follow them perfectly. But do you want to continue that way? Probably, I'm assuming, avoiding that object, but continue in that direction. Or do you want to go a different direction?
Well, I think we were headed the right way. The thing is still pulling that way, right?
Yep.
We could try to avoid the creatures and just go around, maybe.
Yes,
What do you guys think?
I think we should try to find those that escaped and caused all the damage to us. That should be our priority.
Okay. Yeah, you can definitely do that. So, and again, you're covering ground you've already covered, so we'll move you a little faster than normal. So let's just do, Nikki, go ahead and roll a d6 to see if you encounter anything on them.
D6, okay. 4.
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty uneventful. The snow stopped at some point during the night, and as you're traveling along, it's quite frigid. It's even colder than yesterday, and there's a bit of a breeze, so it's just kind of ripping through you, but you have heavy furs on and such. And as you're kind of moving through, you see like no tracks, no animal tracks, no sleigh tracks, no nothing. The snow definitely covered up any tracks. However, you definitely still feel that pretty consistent pull, because you're carrying that piece of metal that leads you in this direction. You kind of skirt around the object to continue kind of in the northeasterly direction. No, northwesterly, sorry. And you get a little bit past it, and Buka, you start to feel like it's now that you're past it, you can actually feel like the object that you're holding seems to want to pull you back towards that object.
Oh,
I will report that to everybody else. Seems like this wants to return to its own kind.
it wants to. But should we let it is the question.
Well, that's true.
Look at Breakhill, I say, we may have to deal with the apes.
But you have to understand, Vanessa, I've been with you a long time, and I know you have wisdom much. How can the small amount of us handle those large, if they are very aggressive to us? I mean, maybe we should just give them the object. I mean, what is the point of us trying to find out what that is? Is that our end goal, or we should continue trying to find what we come here for?
And that's true. That's true. We're trying to find the stones and the door that we have to knock on which we have to knock.
Right, on the Mound of the Silver Flame or whatever. And you did ask last time if this looked anything like that or had that same kind of thing, and you wouldn't connect those two things. This does seem like something different, interesting but different.
Okay. I look at Buka and I say, I'm okay with not giving the thing what it wants for now.
Yeah, I'm fine too.
But remember this, Buka, if it starts to affect your mind and things in ways that are not good, we will have to restrain you.
Well, a part of me wants to see you try, Brighild, but that's fine. I understand what you're saying.
Well, let's hope it does not come to that.
I take it as well meaning, and he gives her a painful wink.
It's okay. Yeah. So you're like a couple miles past it. He checks as a mile. You're about a couple miles past where you believe the object is. I mean, obviously you don't have an exact map. So, and like I say, you feel like it's pulling you back. But you don't want to head back to it? Do you want to keep going the direction you're going, or do you want to go? It's basically you're going northwest. You could go any direction at this point. It all kind of looks the same to you.
Buka, there's nothing you can pick up as any signs or tracks or anything of those thieves that, and he looks towards, or she looks towards Revna when she used the word thieves, kind of like, excuse me, but do you see anything, Buka, that would lead us towards those people?
No, I'm not a tracker. I mean, that is not my specialty. I mean, I kill things. I'll be honest.
Well,
He is a Viking.
what about you, Revna? Is there anything you can do to try to maybe pick up a trail or anything?
I mean, I'm not really a tracker, but I can certainly, I certainly know how to move without being seen. If I can pick up the trail, I can probably follow it discreetly. I mean, I'm of course willing to try.
Well, I would think that they don't have a hideout or a place close by that they call home. They're going to have to stop at some point and rest themselves, I would think. But maybe we just continue and the luck will bring them to us or some sign of them.
I could try to fly a little ways and see if I can see their tracks from the air.
That's a good
That would
idea.
also leave
but-
me vulnerable to them spotting me, but
No, I think it's a good idea. Just as I would take, maybe you should take Rowan seats with you though, in case y'all need to cast something upon them from above.
are you willing to do that, Rowan Siege?
Yeah, I'm definitely willing to come along.
Okay. And they were heading straight north, I think, the last time we knew. Weren't they, Daniel? Or no?
No, they were going northwest, but the reason why I said north, they were going kind of northwest. Because if you look at the house, if you had gone directly, northwest, you would have passed where they went. You would have went to the forest. So they were kind of going, in a way that can't be exactly marked up on the hex map. But basically, they were going. Well, actually, I could do it this way. They were heading like, they weren't going this way. That would be northwest. They were going like this way, which is basically the direction you're going now.
Okay. Well, we'll just, I don't want to be too, hey, look at me, I'm on a carpet, but I want to get on the carpet with Rowan Siege and kind of just see if we can see anything from the air if I fly a little ways to the northwest.
Sure. I mean, you're basically in a hilly land where you've got about a mile and a half visibility just because the nature of the
Okay.
land. If you just go straight up, you'll see a lot more. I mean, you can probably see up to maybe 5 miles out. I would
let's do that
imagine
then.
from the air, if you get up high enough. So I'll give you a little more. So we're gonna. I mean, you're currently like right here. So I'll clear out some more of you guys. So going up in the air, you'll be able to see. Let's say up to about right here. Nothing immediately. It kind of looks the same still, going in that direction. I mean, you do know too a couple things. Number one is that you because you went back and rested, they've got a full day's journey ahead of you, as well as the fact that it snowed for like 18 of those hours. So there you see no sign of anything. It looks just flat. Actually, you know what? Roll a d6 because you might see
Okay.
the next. That's within the range of the next possible random encounter.
Right.
No, it looks absolutely desolate.
Okay.
Yeah.
I look at Rowan Siege and I say, I don't know. What do you think? A little further or just
Yeah, it couldn't hurt to move up just a little bit more, just to make sure. Let's move a little bit more towards the north and see.
okay?
Okay. You want to actually fly away from the party? Or you want to go down and then move the whole party forward a few miles and then go up again? Because remember, each one of these is a mile. So like to get any significant difference, you need to fly pretty far away from the party, basically, because you're seeing 5 miles away from you. So if you just travel 100 yards, you're seeing 100 yards further, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I'll say, well, let's go down and see what they want to do.
And that makes sense. Let's be safe.
Yeah, I agree. So we'll go down and I'll ask them, should we move up and we can do this again? There's just it's so featureless and the snow is there's no tracks, and at least none that would indicate what we're looking for.
I do
Not
not
being
see.
able. Oops, sorry, Tony.
No, go ahead, Revna.
Not being able to see them is one thing, but not even being able to see any tracks is. I mean, while I say I'm no tracker, common sense would say that following someone in the snow, particularly deep snow, I mean, they should leave quite a trail behind them, but yet we can see nothing.
Well, it's been snowing
Yeah.
for a day since.
Yeah,
So
it's been snowing for 18 hours at almost like it snowed about 5 feet in the last day. I mean, you're looking at a massive snowstorm.
She looks back at Vanessa and goes, and this is why I'm not a tracker.
It doesn't snow like that in Viking Land.
I'm not a tracker either. We're just gonna have to, as Brickhill says, maybe we get lucky if we pick a direction and just go, avoiding that
Well,
obelisk.
If I may interject, given that this is a very hostile atmosphere, if we were to continue to walk without knowing where to go, we would end up being lost in the snow and possibly having to suffer through extreme cold. How about we return and find ourselves a tracker?
Well, we only have as long as the comet stays in the sky to find this place.
Yes, we have had too many pitfalls and turns that have caused us delays as it is. I say that's best, Vanessa. Maybe we move up the best we can, and you and Rowan Siege continue whatever direction you think's best for a little further and see.
Okay, north or northwest?
I'm going to let Rowan Siege make that decision. I believe that the God that she follows will lead her in the right way.
Well, we've already gone northwest a ways and seen nothing. From where we're at, let's move up more northeast towards here and see if there's anything out that way. Because we only know that
Oh.
the people were traveling in this general direction. So
Yeah, I guess, okay, hold on a second, because since you went up in the air, I basically just looked at, you would have seen all around you, right? So let me clear all that out too. So yeah, so, and again, you're like, I guess, you can see 5 miles in every direction, obviously, when you're in the air. So I guess you would also see up there. Let me just clear that out as well. I was just looking in the direction you were going, but yeah, that would be roughly 5 miles in every direction.
okay.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3. No, actually, you'd see further this way. You see, so actually, you see just the edge of this. You see like an edge of a little bit of a tree area here. That's basically the next landmark that you see. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. I just realized that because right, you're in the air. If you were thinking about going a different direction, you would have looked that way.
Okay.
So yeah, so the only landmark that you see, well, you see a few landmarks from where you are. You see the tree line here, which is where you found the wizard's body originally. So you didn't see any encampment there. So you know, I mean, certainly go back there to investigate, but you didn't see an encampment there. Obviously, you see the object, and you can see very tiny little, well, tiny because of the distance, apes with giant heads working on it, and you see a little bit of a forested area over here.
And
So you wanna go-
Talos knows nothing about the obelisk, right? We asked him. Did we ask him? Or about those?
He doesn't know anything about it. Yeah, he doesn't.
Okay.
He doesn't even know. Yeah, because he wouldn't have been around when the other adventuring party with the asked. Because remember, there's another adventuring party that you encountered that. Well, you know that they were in Bogrest, and you also the alchemist guy said that he saw them. That's the other reason why you're going this way, because that's actually where he said they went as well. And also another bit of information that you would know is that you've only traveled 2 hours. So like if the person's camp, they did have a camp, it could be, much further away than you are right now. You haven't gone that far, is I guess my point. You could definitely go further in any direction and still get back to the alchemists if you wanted to go back there. So yeah, just so you have all the information. So did you want to go northeast, like still around each, or does new information change anything? I guess that's the question.
This new information, I would say, changes things. I would say let's keep going like northwest. I mean, where we're going
Okay.
now, might as well.
Okay. I can do that.
Okay, all right. So we'll move you to the next, because basically you're moving 4 miles an hour. So I'll move you 4 miles up, and then I'm gonna do another. Well, actually, we already did a random check. So you move another 4 miles without seeing anything. So we'll put you at what you knew was going to happen because you because you looked with the thing. So that way you were here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're basically here now, about a mile or so away from that tree line, and you go back up again, and we can see 5 miles. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, that's 5 miles. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So from here, height was obviously it's the same 5 miles south, unfortunately. And then diagonally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So basically here, you can see there's some hills building up over there. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, and you actually see a hill area over here, and you notice something in the hills. You notice that there's a quite large cave. It's a bit sunken, so like if you were on the ground, you might not have noticed it until you got real close to it, because it's a bit in the valley, but since you're up in the air, it's got kind of a large cave mouth that's flat. So it's kind of, you can see that there's snow built up in front of it, but probably what makes it stick out the most is that it looks like it's either warm inside or somebody dug it out, because right in front of the cave for you can't judge how far, but probably like 50, 60 feet, it's cleared and there's like piles of snow. So it's almost like a recess and then a cave. Other than that, you don't see any flaming mounds, unfortunately. But you see that, which is something to,
Well, it's
again,
something
you're here.
different anyway.
Yeah,
Yes,
let's go
people.
back and tell the others about this.
Yes, I agree. Recessed cave. I mean, who knows? Maybe
I guess
it
who
has
else
something
is-
to do with what we're doing.
I mean, it is going up into a sort of hilly area, and we're looking for like some mounds or something right now.
Well, and we don't know what kind of door we're looking for. We don't really know much, so anything we can explore. So let's go back. Let's tell the others.
I agree.
Okay. So you tell everybody. By the way, here's the map, just in case people don't remember it. Everybody got really quiet all of a sudden.
It would be best, I think, as you two suggest and have seen that, maybe we continue that way. And when we do get closer, maybe at the tip of the hill range there, maybe Revna can put her skills to use and try to look for any signs of that cave being occupied by either these brigands or any other things that we don't want to just walk into.
Yep, we can do that. If that's okay with everybody else.
I like that idea.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd rather sleep in a cave than a snowbank.
I look at
Right.
Book and I smile and I say, and if there's something nasty in the cave, well, I know that you can be nastier.
Exactly. He chuckles.
Miss Jackson, if you're nasty.
Yeah. Well, I did see him like tear people apart with his.
That is true.
I cannot remember what that comes from.
What I said from Nasty
Yeah.
Boys, what Janet Jackson.
Oh, okay, that's right. All right.
So yeah, the odd Janet Jackson reference every once in a while.
No, right?
Yeah.
Like left field.
Yep, that's a throw it out there, even if nobody catches it. All right, so let's get another D6 roll as you guys are traveling. Rush, go ahead and roll me another D6.
All righty. A 4.
All right, nice. Yeah, it's eerily quiet except for the wind blowing across the hills as you kind of start to move towards. And you should be able to, with 4 miles, you should be able to get up into this like small hill bank area and kind of get yourselves kind of hidden more or less if you're going to send somebody forward to scout the cave, which I guess you're sending Revna. Is it the plan? Is it just going to be Revna?
Revna, do you want to take Buka with you in case you run into something that needs his expertise?
She looks over at Buka and says, I don't know. He's loud and
I'm
boisterous. If I run into something that I don't think I can handle, I can like Eka, I can also make myself unseen. I just choose not to live in that shroud the way he did.
Well, that would be best, and it's okay to go ahead and call Buka obnoxious. We know he's obnoxious, but he's needed also. He's good.
Hey.
Oh. And she kind of puts a hand up. She's like, I never said that you weren't needed. But I mean, come on. You're a Viking. That's your first well, it's not really a problem, but that's your first thing. You're a berserker. That's your second thing. Our people are not known for their subtlety, and you guys in particular.
I realize I'm the only man up here. You guys don't have to make me feel uncomfortable about that.
Well, he's no Bale, that's for sure. But he is quite the warrior.
Ah,
Mm.
throwback.
Wow.
Yep, that's right.
I never had
Tell
a
us.
chance to meet this Bale.
This Talos kind of just shakes his head. Uh,
Considering he's
he's also a man. So yeah, you want to stick.
Oh, he's a magic user, though. We don't count those.
ooh, shade.
Yeah, I know. Throwing shade at the wizard. It's all right. He
know,
doesn't
right?
mind. His nose is all half fallen off with the frostbite and stuff. So he's not really he's not in the position to argue with anybody.
I just
Yeah.
noticed too, after Mike made his comment, that, you know, with my characters as they die, I flip back and forth between male and female, and with Eka dying and him having to take over the NPC, it's like, wow, you really are the only dude character that's left right now.
Yeah, only male we see. Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, the henchman fell. So yeah, so you're gonna sneak forward, rush. You've got a hide ability. What level are you? Or what's your
IR level, I think I am level 6, but approaching level 7.
Nice. Okay, so we're doing move silent, I guess would be the looks like you got a 7 and 12. Do you have better than 16 dexterity?
Oh yeah.
Alright, so 8 and 12. Okay. Yeah, so you're moving up to the cave, silently through as silent as possible through the snow, kind of staying low. And it's deep, and like I said, there's these mounds of snow around. So you can observe the cave mostly, but then you're kind of coming down into this valley, quietly, and you hear. Actually, roll a d6.
Okay. 4.
Yeah, so you hear, so you're not surprised. You hear kind of like a whistling sound, and I'm just gonna make a roll here. 10, okay. What's your arm class?
My against melee or missile?
Missile.
Oh. Oddly enough, it says my missile is 0, but that is incorrect. It should be the same as my melee then, which is 4.
Okay. Yeah, unless you have some kind of thing that protects you against missiles. All right, fantastic. Or not so much. You hear a whistling sound, and I have to see how many hit dice these things are. Essentially, a large stone has been hurled at you. Yeah. You're not surprised, so you don't have any kind of like flat-footedness or anything, but I'm just going to allow them to automatically go first because you can't see them, and it's a missile attack.
Okay.
So just one's going to get to throw, though. So let's see. They are... Their fighting ability is 8. So that hits an armor class of 2. Oh, that's going to hit you.
Yep.
So you're kind of sneaking. When kind of out of the blue, like kind of over the bank. A pretty good shot. Bam! Oh, maybe not a good shot. It's a pretty good shot because I can't see you, but it just grazes you, doing only 6 points of damage. As this kind of large stone, probably the size of your head, like just whoosh by, maybe hit you in the shoulder, or maybe hit your backpack or something, and you kind of stumble back, and you hear kind of the sound of some voices kind of speaking. And then they say, God, got him. I'll get him better. And you hear basically, give me a stone, as whatever's on the other side of this mound of snow is planning on hucking more stones over at you.
Okay.
Yeah. And I guess everybody who's watching from above, I mean, you guys are pretty far away, obviously, but if people are watching, you probably see stepping into the, just as this is happening, stepping into the door of the cave, you see what is a very large human, I guess we'll call them humanoid. They are. Just check to see what these things look like. I'm pretty sure they just look like people. Okay. Yeah, they're basically very, they're large humans, basically. There are, we see one step into the doorway and throw a boulder, and you see it whisk and hit Revna, and then you see two more step into the space. It's about they're about 12 feet tall. That's what I was checking for.
Ooh, they're big ones.
So yeah, so they step out, and you can see they've got like like furs wrapped around them and stuff. They get these large. Well, to them, they just look like they have like rocks basically, but they're about the size of somebody's hand. You don't see them yet, Redna, because they're on the other side of the snowbank. But the rest of the party does see it, although you guys are about 100 yards away. So whether or not you'll be able to actually do anything, you see three of them. Okay, so I'm just going to go through again. You're about 100 yards away, so just keep that in mind when you decide what you're going to do. And you don't, as far as you know, they don't see you. Actually, I'm sorry, Revan is 100 yards away. You guys were back a bit further, so you're probably let's say you're 200 yards away.
Dang, they hit me from 100 yards.
Yep.
That is a good shot.
Yeah. Yeah, they can throw 100 yards. Yeah, so you got the rest of you on the mound. You're about 200 yards away. So you're about 100 yards away from Revna, about 200 yards away from the creature. So they're pretty far away from you at this point. So just keep that in mind if anybody can or wants to do anything. Nikki.
I'll start to move forward a little bit. I'll have the boomerang ready, but I'm not gonna run in there right just yet.
Okay. Are you just gonna like stealth forward a bit, or are you gonna just like get up and run forward?
I'll try to keep it as stealthy as possible.
Okay. Puka?
I'm sorry, is Rugna down?
No,
Yeah.
just glanced her.
Just glanced her?
Yeah.
I'll start slowly moving forward.
Revna, what's your plan? This rock just hit you.
So you said I can't see them, so I don't know exactly what is throwing a rock at me.
That's right.
All I know is that the rock came from way downtown.
Yep.
So I was like, "Ooh, that's a good shot." So what I'm gonna do? I'm in like waist deep snow, right?
Right. I mean, not
So-
quite that deep, but it's kind of frozen over.
It's really deep snow.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna like sink down in the snow and try to hide, and immediately like burrow through the snow sideways to be not in that same spot, but I'm gonna stay under the snow hidden as I go.
I like this. Very, very smart. Run siege.
Rowan's just going to stay where she's at for now.
Okay. Helene, not a whole lot you can do at this distance, but you can move, I suppose. You like what's Helene want to do?
Yeah, Helene's gonna stay back and say, "Well, are we going to help him?"
Okay. Breakhild.
Brickiel crosses her arms and says, I hope Revna has enough wisdom to move out of there. I mean, whatever those creatures are, I mean, they're just defending their home. They think we're trying probably to invade it. Probably would not be best to fool with them right now. It's not what we're seeking, evidently, but let's hope Revna retreats back out of there for now. And she's just going to stand there with her arms crossed.
That did Brighild move. I'm just looking to see if Telos can do anything. He'll cast a spell if there's something he can do. I'm just looking at his spell list quickly. So, Rush, since you're under gun here, go ahead and roll initiative for the group. They got a 2. So that's a D6. Oh, okay, going first. Okay, so you're able to. I mean, nobody's doing a anything. So you duck down into the snow, which is really smart. And yeah, you down into the snow and you start moving. Kind of off in a way that you think would be safe. Other people start to move forward from your side, you probably see Revna go down into the snow. These giants kind of move forward. So, you know, like I said, there's like a snowbank. They kind of come up on it, and you see them looking around because they're not particularly smart, and you know, they don't know where you went. Well, they huck their rocks down, all of them. They don't even roll for attacks. They just throw their rocks down into essentially the hole that you made in the snow. But of course, you're not there anymore. So yeah, you probably through your like little pocket that you've dug quickly to, you hear crunch, 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 and you see some rocks like fall in that space. And they kind of look at each other, and one of them says, I killed him. I get to eat him. And the other one's like, no, I get to eat. And the third was like, no, I killed it. It was my rock. And you can see that they seem to be a little confused and also deciding who gets to eat you. But they're not moving at this point. At this point, they've moved up. They're probably like, 60 yards away. Like they came forward, but they're actually less than that because they can't move that fast. So they can only move they're probably like still like about 70. They're almost 90 yards away. A little bit less than that. So they didn't move very far. That's as fast as they can move. But you can hear them through the muffled snow arguing. And up top on the mountain, they actually haven't bothered to look up where you are because they didn't see you yet. Everybody up top. So you guys started to move down, and you just see Revna go down into the snow and move. And now you see the giants seem to be arguing. What's everybody's plan, Nesta?
They seem to be arguing, but not attacking her anymore.
Well, I mean, you get I think you could probably hear them from there because they're pretty loud. They seem to be arguing who's going to go over and get the body, essentially, because they think they killed her.
Okay, I'm just gonna hold where I am and see if she can get away. Like Rickhild said, we don't necessarily need to run down and attack these things, but I don't want Revna to get hurt. So I'm just gonna kind of be ready with the boomerang.
Okay. Let's see if you can do this from this distance. He wasn't close enough to cast the spell he wanted to cast. So last round, Talos moved forward, but he's kind of like smushed down in the snow as well, trying to stay out of view. Because now they've moved forward, so that's 60. Okay. What basically the only, I mean, unless somebody wants to do something, you can speak up. But what's Revna's plan? Basically, what is the plan at this point? You could hear the giants kind of plan on. they're arguing over who's going to get the body and eat you.
So hearing that, and so that they're too busy arguing amongst themselves. Now that she's moved sideways to get away from, to try and throw them off. Now she's going to. So she turned left, went to the side. Now she's going to turn left again and start heading, which is for the most part back toward the party, but she's digging under the snow as fast as she possibly can and making her way back to the part where the party is.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you're not moving tremendously fast. I mean, you probably only moved like less than 10 feet from where you initially were. So just so you know, It's not like you're like, I mean, you're not a gopher or anything. Could be a gopher.
Right.
Yeah, gopher snooter. Okay. Yeah, so that's your plan, is you're like slowly but surely moving. Talos moves forward again. And that should be close enough. That's fine. He does some, he goes, you don't really see, he tries to say it as quietly as possible. He speaks some words of magic and raises his hand, and it begins to snow like crazy right on top of the giants. Like, and you got, from where you guys are, you can see it's like literally like a 30-foot like circle of snow, but it's like snowing like mad right on top of them. And then of course they're very confused as to what's happening at this point. And you actually hear that they're you can hear Revna, you hear them go, what happened? You can see that, you can hear the giants are very confused, although you cannot see them, of course, because you're into the ground.
Okay.
Yeah. And then he kind of ducks down. Does anybody else in the party want to do anything?
They are speaking in a common tongue, or pretty much.
Yeah, like a broken common. Yep. Yeah, they're like fee, fi, fo, they're giants, so they're...
Does Talus Brickhill wants to ask Talus if he recognizes them, if he's had any dealings
Yeah.
with these type of, because I don't guess any of us really recognize them, do we?
Yeah, no. At this point, he's pretty far away from you. He's almost 100 yards away from you.
Oh,
He
okay.
moved forward. Yeah, he moved forward as fast as he could because he had to get close enough to cast a spell. But he's going to move back. So because I don't think he has to stay in range to do it.
Vanessa, you do not recognize any of these, any tales or stories you've heard, have you? These type of creatures?
Giants?
Yeah. I mean, you probably heard of giants before.
Yeah.
What in particular? If you want to know.
Do you know anything, Vanessa, as far as what these, I mean, they seem to be aggressive, of course, but do you know anything about their mental capabilities, or they have magic, or maybe how large of a group they live in habitat together?
Okay. Yeah, you would know that. Let me tell you. Let's see. These guys are. They can live in large groups. Generally in family groups. Although, from what you can tell, all three of these seem to be roughly the same size, and so you didn't see anything look like a child. So whether or not there's more of them, it's hard to really say. They do look fully grown, though. So you do know they could be, a dozen of them living together. It's not unheard of. But they also sometimes live singularly as well. They are generally not users of magic. Never have you heard of them use magic. They generally throw rocks and use rough clubs made of, like tree stumps, basically. They have no crafting. Everything they have, they generally steal. And in all the folk stories that you've heard, they're very cruel and they eat people and stuff like that. Like they're definitely a bad deal.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I say we give Revna time to make it back to us and just leave these creatures alone. That's their dim-wittedness, and all they're doing is defending their home.
Yeah, and if she can get away, that would be better than us, especially since they can live in groups to as much as a dozen. I don't think a dozen of these would be very easy to.
I mean,
Take
it's more. It's not common for that to be, but it can be. So typically they're small families. So 3.
Still, even 5
know,
or 6,
4,
they say to big hilt. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
would be a lot.
just so you know the information, just in case you want to deal with this at some point, or just so you know for the future.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, they're definitely bad news. Like they're the kind of thing that children are told to say not to go out in the woods because they'll get eaten by these things. Like they're definitely bad news monsters. The snow seems to be confusing the heck out of them. Revna, as you kind of you probably reach a spot where you can't dig anymore. I mean, the snow has been settling for days. So, it gets freezes up because it's negative 50 degrees. So we'll say that at some point you pop your head out to see what's going on, and you can see that they seem to be in the snow. They seem to be snowed upon and very confused at this point. If you want to make a run for it, let's just make it simple, and I'll even let you roll. Go ahead and roll your move silent, and if you make it, then we'll just assume that they were distracted and you can get away to an area where they're not going to know where you are, rather than play out this out round by round.
Okay.
And if not, one of them's going to pop up and throw a rock at you. So pass. So roll a d12. And you want
okay.
low. Yeah. So your move silent is 7 out of 12. So and you have a dexterity, high dexterity, so it's 8 out of 12. So you want to roll 1 through 8 on a d12. You're good. Above that, you're not. Oh, they.
Yeah.
Yeah,
think
they
I
like
made
facing the other direction. Yeah, exactly. You come out,
Yeah.
your clothes are so covered with the snow that you're like basically practically invisible to them as you make your way. Maybe you circle around. And by the time you kind of get away from them, you can see that the snow has stopped. And Talos does come back to the group, of course, and duck down.
I make my way over to the group and with my arms wrapped around me, and I'm like, rubbing my arms to get the snow off of me, and I'm just kind of hopping. And I'm like, by the gods, it's cold down there.
Where did you come from?
I was hiding. Remind me never to hide in the snow again like that. Obviously not a gopher.
Or
Well,
a
at least-
Viking.
Hey, it doesn't even snow like this where we're from, so shut up, mister.
At least it has returned. Your plan returned you to us safely. It does look like they nicked you some, though. They must be fairly good shots with those rocks.
Yeah, he threw that from a long way away and almost hit me in the head. But I mean, it's just a scratch, but it could have been worse.
Scratch my foot. Here you go. She heals you for 4 points of damage.
Daddy.
And there you go.
That's
Ah,
That
it was
has
a
to be
family of
wor-
giants.
that has to be worth at least one more point.
Suddenly you
That is-
spawned a child.
Yes.
I thought it was Buka that was married to all of the village women.
That's true. Now I find out it's Helene as well.
She looks at Helene and says, "Thank you." But save the rest of your power for the others, please.
Yeah. So tell us back with the group. He says, seems to be giants in the cave. You know, they're always hoarding treasure that they steal from adventurers. When I get back to town, I'll have to look for a party of adventurers to go kill the giants for me. And now you've just created a quest giver. Unless you guys could.
Was that shade on us, Talos?
Well, I think that you guys have your own agendas.
I mean, you could have left your body in that tree, you know.
Well, I'm just saying, you guys have, something else you plan on doing, right? This is below you.
I don't know about
Nestor,
that.
you said these hills continue up north when you were up in the air. Did you not say the range of them continue on up northward?
Yes.
What if we got on the carpet and went back up in the air so we could see a little further again?
I'm afraid that giants might throw rocks at it.
Yeah, so I'd
Well-
just say we sneak around this area and maybe continue back towards the north and see those hills if there are anything we were looking for.
Yeah, once we get a little further away and I don't think that they could reach us with their stones, I'd be happy to do that for Rowan Siege.
Yes.
Oh, man. I don't get to throw stones at the flying carpet.
Mm-mm.
Fine. All right, yeah, you guys can maneuver around, kind of staying on the outskirts of the hills, on the lookout for any other possible giants or anything. Until you get, we'll go ahead and roll I've lost track of who was rolling, so I'm just going to go. Mike, roll a d6. Ah, I knew I could count on you, Mike.
You're welcome.
It's every once in a while, you gotta roll the numbers.
Yes.
Yeah, roll me a d10 as well. Why not?
So I want 10 of them.
Yes, definitely want 10.
Let's go for 8 of them.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, Okay. You see something very strange as you're kind of maneuvering through these hills. You see another cave. It's not nearly that big, of course. This one's only about 5 or so feet wide. And you notice it primarily because even though it is obviously daytime, there's got almost like you see these like strands of webbing that have almost like an iridescent color to them, kind of all covering the entrance to the cave. And you actually see, kind of frozen and clearly dead, you see a small, what appears probably like a wolf cub, that seems to have maybe wandered down in that direction, got stuck in the web, and it seems to be frozen. You can see actually snow and ice on it, like it's been there for a while. It's not doesn't it seems to be in one piece, but it is frozen there. So a small wolf cub outside of a small cave with some strange webbing. If you want to investigate it. Otherwise, you're going to walk right past it.
And you mean it's literally frozen, like in ice frozen, or is it just?
Yeah, I mean, it's frozen like as if it's got snow and ice kind of crystals all over. It's not like in a block of ice.
Okay.
I mean, it's pretty easy to see that essentially this thing probably went to seek shelter in the cave, got itself caught up in these webs that it couldn't break out of, and then the cold killed it. Not any kind of a beast, because it's still completely solid, and it doesn't look like it's been eaten or anything like that. It's just kind of frozen there.
Well, we passed a webbed cave earlier and nothing good came out of it.
I say we keep moving.
Revna just kind of looks at the wolf a little bit saddened, but such is the natural order.
Indeed. Okay, yeah, so you're able to pass by that area and get a little bit further away, so you feel like you're kind of safe from it. We'll put you, let's see, you can travel up to 4 miles. So let me put you where you'd be. We're going in the hills, so you go a little slower. You want here, here, here. So I'll put you in this square here. So I'll clear that out. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oop. Oh, nope, that didn't do anything. Okay, so you're seeing quite a bit of stuff. But probably most interestingly, you see to the north of you a mound that looks like I can screen share, I'll do it. Nope, that's not right. There we go. Okay. So, I mean, obviously, you're not that close to it, but you see there's this mound here, and the top of it seems to be rimmed with ice, and there is a large flame of bluish white flame. You don't see that door thing that you see. Giving away a little something. You don't see that. You just see the mound itself. It is essentially you can see what I'm showing you, right? So basically, you're looking at this tall mound. I'll read the description in a second. It's decently tall. The top of it's rimmed with ice, it's almost like a reverse volcano. So like you've got like a mound with like ice around it instead of like lava and heat. And then you've got the flame kind of coming up, but the flame is a bluish white. Let me give you the old box texty. Okay. A low mound, which under normal circumstances would be indistinguishable from countless others from this area, but it is topped by a raging silver blaze the size of a large bonfire. And you can see that, again, there's lots of stuff around it, like heath and mounds, but essentially it just looks like a mound, but clearly, I mean, if you look at your map, this seems like it's probably your destination. And it's about 5 miles away to the north, which means you could get there in an hour or so. I will point out that it's probably, let me just check out my time frame here. It's getting dark, even though obviously it's not getting dark because the, yeah, so there's only 5 hours of daylight. So yeah, you've been traveling for about 4 hours so far. So you could get there just before the sun goes down. But of course, when the sun goes down, you can still see because of the comet in the sky, but it just becomes a bit dimmer. And it does get a little colder. So, yeah. What would you like to do?
Nesta, what do you think about if we continue on foot, traversing as fast as we can? Maybe you and Rowan each go back up and get closer to observe it while we're heading that way on foot.
Yep. I was going to suggest that as well. I'm going to be very careful, just so you know.
Has Rowan Seach ever heard of or seen anything like this flame before?
Only in the map that you found.
Okay.
Because, yeah, I think this is, yeah. That's what I say to Breakup. And we'll say, yeah, we'll get on the carpet.
Beautiful. I've never seen anything like that before. I'm definitely intrigued.
Well,
Okay.
the map said knock upon the stone and enter, so I mean, we're not going to do that right this second, but I think we're here.
All right, so you're going to just head north through the mound. Okay, let's do one more potential encounter on the way. Crystal, roll me a d6. So are you flying? So is your plan to fly faster than the rest of the group, or are you just going to fly up in the air so you can see better? Because the carpet can actually fly faster. The carpet can, it can go decently. It goes 60, right?
Right.
Yeah,
I think
and
I
I think you
wanna
guys walking, you're going pretty slow, especially because you have somebody in plate armor. Although I guess she could be on the dog sled. If that's.
I think I'd like to get a bit of a jump on the party. Not that I want to like leave them behind, but I'd like to see what's going on up there before they come walking up. So I could get closer
Yeah.
flying.
Yeah, if you go full on full speed flying, and they're going full speed walking, you'll probably be able to by the time you get closer, you'll be able to be about a mile ahead of the party. So you can probably get there about an hour or so before they do, or half 15 minutes rather before they do. If you go full on.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So you do that. Did you roll in my dice there, Kristen?
Yeah, I rolled a 4.
Nice. Okay. So yeah, you guys travel. You kind of keep an eye on around the surrounding area. You don't see anything, as long as you're close enough to the party anyways, you could signal them, but you don't see anything to turn back and signal them about as you keep going closer and closer to this thing. And yeah, I mean, you can tell, as the sun is starting to fade, that this flame is very intense. And by the time you actually get within quarter of a mile of it, it's actually very hard to look at. It's very, very bright. It's not huge. I mean, it's, the size of a large bonfire. So you've probably seen fires this big before. Especially the Pyromancer, but never this bright. Like, this is brighter than anything you've ever seen as you approach it. And are you just going to fly? You're coming from the south. You just want to fly until you get within a certain distance and stop, or do you want to circle around it? Do you want to go to the ground? Do you want to go high? Okay. Yeah, you can do that before everybody gets there since you have a little bit of time. And interesting. Roll a d6. See if you surprise. Let's see if you surprise them.
I'll do it here in the.
Okay. Nope, you don't surprise them. Roll another one to see if you're surprised.
Okay. Oh, sorry, it's a D8.
Definitely not. Okay, no, neither one of you are. All right, so kind of as you're circling around, you kind of look at the same time as maybe they're looking up at the flame and they're kind of too bright for them, so they turn and they look, and you actually see what I showed in that picture. You see there's a group of people. 2 people, if you want to call them a group, staring at this slab of stone that's on the side of the mound. It's got some kind of interesting symbols on it. Looks like it's, let's see. There's a 10 by 10 foot stone slab on the north side near the base. You see these two men. No, actually, it's a man and a woman, I think. Let me just check. The people who's still around. Yeah, you see that very tall person in scale armor with a sword on their belt, and you see another kind of short, stocky person in kind of like a studded armor. They are. Oh, actually, you saw this person. You can tell right away the person, the short, stocky person, is the one that jumped on the sleigh because you actually saw them. They tried to steal your sleigh. They see you as soon as you see them, and you can see that their eyes go wide and they reach down for their weapons because they are not messing around. So we're gonna say you are. I'm just gonna roll random for distance. Okay, you are 10 to. You're 100 feet away from them, basically. You just circle around when you see each other. So you got Rowan Seach and Pinesta. What do you guys want to do? 2 people on the ground, 100 feet away.
Well, I mean, Vanessa would be like, nope, not by ourselves, and probably go as fast as you can away from them back towards the party.
Okay, you're gonna move away. What about Rowan Seach? Do you want to do anything on the carpet?
Can I cast a spell while we're flying away?
You can, sure. You're just sitting on the carpet.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna cast a spell.
Okay. Go ahead and Nikki, and roll initiative for your side. Oh, they got a 3.
Okay. D6. 2.
Okay, and they got a 3. I said, all right, so they're going to go first. So, all right. Okay, I'm assuming there's enough range, otherwise they'll just forfeit what they were going to do because they were going to cast a spell as well, but I didn't get a chance to look at it. Okay, no, they don't have enough range. All right, so they raise up their hand as if they're going to cast a spell, but then realize that you're too far away. The first person. The other person is going to... They wouldn't be able to throw... I don't think they can throw this far enough to throw it at you, but if they can, they're going to throw their axe at you. Axe, hand, 45. Nope. Yeah, you're too far away to do anything. So you basically... They look at you, they reach for their weapons and their spells, but you just... wow, you're out of there. But before you move, Crystal's character, Ron Seach, you'll be able to cast a spell at them.
Yeah, they're about
100
to
feet
have
away from
a
you.
really bad day. Fireball.
Alrighty then. All right, so you throw a fireball at them. So go ahead and... Oh, is that your damage? Okay, they're going to make a sorcery save. All right, so the first person, natural 20, they made their save. Second person, the stocky guy, 6, that's going to fail. So... Okay, and he was already hurt, actually, but it doesn't... Okay, yeah, so the fireball explodes. The short, stocky guy that kind of messed up your party a little bit and tried to steal your sleighs, he goes flying back, and you just see smoke coming off the body. The tall one kind of looks at you with they're kind of scorched, but they look at you, and they just kind of look like, what the? As you kind of whip around the mountain, and like they were quite surprised probably that happened, because they didn't expect that you'd get that off that fast, I guess. So you whip around the mound again. You've still got another 6-7 minutes before the rest of the party will catch up to you. The rest of the party has been moving, and just like the flying companions, as you've got closer and closer to this thing, it's getting to the point where it's so bright, and you see your companions go on the other side of it for a second, so you can't actually see them because it's like looking towards the sun, and then you look back again and you see them come back around the side. I don't think you'd notice the fireball because it's so bright. So. You're going to fly back to the party. What's your plan, Vanessa?
Yeah, I was going to fly back to the party to let them know. On the way there, I look at Rowan Seach and I go, good job, Flames. That was pretty good.
Thank you. Maybe it kind of made up for earlier, huh?
Yeah, maybe. It's fine. Nobody died from that, so. And that was really a good thing to do, but I didn't want to stick around, and let them.
Oh no, it's totally great that you kept flying. That was a great flyby.
Yes. Now
Nice.
we go down to the party, and if we can.
Yeah, you can. This single person does not chase 2 people that just whipped a fireball at them. They are not stupid.
I'll go down and I'll say, well, we got some revenge anyway. Rowan Seach here. We saw two of those who had tried to steal or succeeded actually in stealing their supplies and killing our dogs. We got one of them.
But we should move forward as fast as we can and finish what needs to be done. As she looks towards Buka.
I'm on it. And I'll
Nice.
start moving out.
Yeah, so you move quickly forward and around the mound to where Pinesta and Rowan Seach encountered the two people. You could see that the one body is still laying there. It's not smoking anymore, but you can just see it's burnt beyond recognition. All of its equipment, torched. However, I guess you did it, Crystal, so you can roll me a saving throw to see if the one thing he was holding was damaged or not. So it's gonna
15.
be wood. I guess we'll go wood. Actually, I'll call it metal. Metal hard against fire magical 9. So you needed a yeah, that wasn't very hard. Yeah. So you kind of run around Buka, and you just see the one body there. You see some tracks heading off into the hills. But on this body, right near the hand, because they had pulled it out, not even scarred a tiny bit, even though the rest of them is trashed, is a hand axe.
Ooh. I'll take the hand axe.
Yeah. It is incredibly light and balanced. And you can see that it's got some carvings on it, some kind of arcane carvings.
I'll start running after the tracks
Okay.
with the
Yeah,
hand axe.
Brickio's going to look to Buka and go, yes, we need to finish this. And she's going to be right behind them.
Oh, you're going to chase the person. Okay. All right. You're in the snow, there's tracks. You know what? We'll do it this way. So go ahead and I'm going to do a test of intelligence for the person trying to get away. Because just meta, but they turned invisible, but you can follow their tracks. But we'll see if you succeed, they'll give you guys both a test of wisdom to follow. And if you do a better job on your test, then you'll catch her. Otherwise, they're going to be gone. So, yeah, that seems fair. So do it. Let me do the one first. They might even fail, so it won't be a problem. All right, D6. Oh yeah, no, that wasn't a success. Yeah, so you start to chase it. It's super obvious. Maybe they're afraid, whatever. But the tracks are very obvious, and you kind of chase out, and you kind of come around this area of stone, and you actually see that they've made themselves visible again. And you see standing there, kind of a very gaunt but tall Hyperborean female in this kind of beautiful scale armor with, again, a sword at their hip, a bow. And they actually just have their hands out like this. And they say, we could share the treasure. I have a map and the secrets to get inside.
Oh, it's a woman.
Yep.
Brickio is going to look towards Buka and go,
Mhm.
do you want to finish this or do you want me to?
I'll let you do it.
Brickio doesn't even reply. She's going to throw her spear at her.
Nice. All right. Okay, I'm just going to roll a d6 to see if she's surprised. Although I guess she can't really do anything, but I'll just see if she's surprised. If she is, you'll get another attack after that one. So let me just roll a d6. Well, you can actually roll a d6, Tony. And if you get a 1 or a 2, they're surprised. You'll get 2 attacks, basically.
3.
Okay, so she wasn't surprised. So it'll just be, you'll still let you go first because she wasn't really expecting that. Plus she has to draw a weapon or whatever. Let me just do her hit points now. Because I didn't know I was a chaser. So I didn't. Well, I know how many hit points she has, but I didn't subtract from the fireball. All right, so she made the save. Let's see. So half of that would be 13. Okay. Okay. Go ahead and roll an attack, Tony, with the spear, the thrown spear.
19 on the die, so
Yeah, that's gonna hit.
Wow,
Crazy's
yeah.
only 4.
way. Damage will be, let's see, 3 points.
Wow. Okay. So the spear kind of launches into her, and she looks at you, and doesn't she doesn't have anything to throw, unfortunately. So she draws her sword, and we'll go into combat. We'll say you're only about 30 or so feet away from her, but
Yeah, I'm gonna draw my
'cause you throw
scimitar
spear.
and go after her.
okay. So let's she's gonna melee you. So we're tripling melee. So let's roll initiative. I'm assuming you're just watching, Buka, or are you gonna double team this one?
Oh, we'll double team.
Okay. Are you're gonna melee as well?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So roll a d6, Tony, for the initiative. They got a 1. Oh man.
4.
All right, you guys are gonna go first. So you run forward and
Yeah.
attack. Yeah, go for
Brickyard
it, Tony.
just charges straight into her with her scimitar. The first attack will be 16 on a die, so yeah, negative something.
Yeah, that hits.
And the other one will be -2.
Oosh. Okay.
Oh wow, this is gonna be pretty good damage. Let me add it up. Let's see. 15 points with the 2 attacks.
Okay. Yikes. Okay. Buka.
Coming in with the hand axe.
Nice. It is a +2 hand axe.
Oh, it
Yeah.
is.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Both of
So
those hit
then-
anyways. So yeah.
Yep.
But add 2 to the damage for each one. So that's 7 and 6. That's 13. Oh wow. Okay. Yikes. We can do math today. That's okay. All right. Well, she's gonna swing with her sword. She has mastery, so she actually gets. Since this is the 2 attack round, she'll take 2 attacks. All right, so she's gonna swing twice at Breakhill. An 8 and a 19. I'm assuming the 8's not gonna hit anything. but I'll
IC
mix.
5.
Okay. So she's got an 8, which is really a 9. Well, actually, hold on. She's got a plus. +3 to hit. So 11 and. Yeah, so that's 19. Okay, so does the 11 hit? The 11 is hitting armor class. Oh, yeah, that hits armor class 1. And the other one definitely hits as well then. All right, so she's going to hit you twice with her longsword. 2-handed. For 3 plus 3 is 6. For 6, well, she will terrible damage. So for 6 points and for 4 points with the longsword. She kind of
Alright.
hacks into you twice, and she says, I'll take you with me. But that doesn't seem like very convincing to you at this point, because she's bleeding pretty heavily. All right, what do you guys want to do? She's still standing and seems to be not going to back away at this point, and realizing you're not going to let her go.
Yeah, still melee with her.
Okay. Same, Mike?
Yep.
All right, go ahead and roll initiative, Tony. She got a 6 that time. Ooh.
3.
Okay. Okay, so she's going first, and she always actually, so because of her level, she always gets 2 attacks. It's not even a back and forth. She's gonna attack you again, Brickle. She's feeling like that's gonna miss though. I think 5. Oh, all right. So she misses once and then rolls a crit.
Oh,
Oh, but only a 1 though on the sig d6, so that's not too bad. That's just
Don't
plus
call
2
it a
damage.
comeback.
Ooh. All right, so 7 plus 3 plus 2 is 12 points.
ooh, okay.
Yeah, that's a pretty serious attack. But the second one, she rolled a 5, which is an 8, and an 8 only hits armor class. Oh, actually, armor class 4. So that actually does hit you, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so they actually get hit by that one too. Ooh, all right, that one's for 9 more points.
Ooh, that's not good. Okay.
Yeah, she's tough, but now it's your turn.
Yeah, Brickyard starts spitting blood out and slips down to one knee, but she jumps back up with her scimitar and tries to take her out before it's bad news, Brickyard. The first one will hit. The second one is probably going to miss. Let me look. Armor class 3.
Yeah, that hits her armor class.
Oh, it
is 4.
does. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see, 6, 8, 15 again total.
That's enough. Tell me how you take this person down, this Hyperborean.
Yeah, as Bricchio goes down to one knee, spitting blood out of her mouth, seeing that this woman was much tougher than she thought. She's still mad about it, and she looks towards the mountain of the flame coming off the mountain. And for just a moment, she sees the image of Helios as she stands back up, and she looks towards her and she goes, "You are correct. The light does not shine for all of us. But this day it will only be you who does not shine," as she slices straight into her and takes her down.
Nice. Yeah, she falls to the ground. Again, kind of a tall, gaunt figure, but she's wearing this kind of really beautiful. By the if the rest did the rest of the party like follow, or did you guys stay back at the building?
Yeah, I thought we were following.
Okay, yeah. So you guys run up and you see the figure laying there. This kind of beautiful scaled mail armor, and of course this sword, this long sword. She's got also a pack on her back. She has a bow too, and a dagger on her belt. That's all you can see really on her.
Rowan Seach, do you know if any of these things that she carries, or maybe the armor, it seemed pretty tough. Do you think any of it has any magical properties to them?
I do not have the ability to detect if things are magical. I can only read what magic does on magical items.
Well, maybe we should carry it with us anyway.
Okay. Yeah, you can definitely strip the armor off her. If you check the rest of the body, she's got this beautiful sword. The bow seems just kind of average bow, nothing special about it. Just kind of your regular short bow if you're looking for one of those. 12 arrows. But in her pack, she doesn't have much. She's got a couple of rations left in there. It looks like they might have been at the end of their supplies when they got here. But she has what is apparently an identical map to what you guys have. It looks
Yeah,
almost identical.
Brickyard, she wants to compare. She's wears scale armor, so she wants to compare. Does that armor look any different than what she's wearing, as far as does she think that maybe it has some properties to it or not?
Yeah, as you're stripping it off and you're used to scale armor because of course you've been wearing it, you immediately feel that it weighs like half what yours did, and it's definitely tough. Like you hit it hard with the spear and with the sword, and it didn't damage it really at all. So yeah, you would definitely still feel like this armor's pretty exceptional.
Yeah, she's going to look towards the rest of them and say, I'm in need of quite a bit of rest. That took quite a bit out of me, but I'm going to try this armor on. It seems like it has some qualities that mine does not have." And she'll kind of sneak to the side and change it into that armor and also rest for a while because she's pretty hurt.
Hold on, before you slip into that armor and get blood all over it, allow me to heal you. And Helene walks up there and heals him. Give me one moment.
Nice. All right, 11 points total.
Well, thank you, Helene, for doing that. It has helped some. I'm still fairly pallid, but maybe we can figure our plan from here. But I'll be okay eventually.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you guys move back kind of in front of this mound, and like I said, there's this big door, or we imagine it to be a door. It's kind of a big stone slab, which is essentially what you see in the map. This is probably a good time to maybe take a bio break. That way, we can get into trying to enter the space or whatever you guys want to do when we get back. So we'll take like 10 minutes. Here we go. All right, so we are back. You have basically found what you believe to be the well, I mean, if this is not the mound of the silver flame, it should be. So essentially, it's a mound with a huge silver flame on top. In the front of it are, there's a block in the front, that 10-foot square block with some arcane symbols on it. It seemed like when you approached that the two people were trying to get inside, and clearly were unable to. The block is very huge. There doesn't seem to be a door by any conventional means. It's not. There's no handle on it or anything like that, or a keyhole.
There's no sign of any of our missing stuff that they had anywhere, is there? Like if they've got a camp set up or anything?
No, that's not. They didn't really get much stuff, right? They really only got away with the one wagon. Crystal blew up with a fireball, and you actually recovered the one this guy stole. I think they mostly just destroyed the other stuff that they didn't take. Right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they killed the dog.
Yeah. Basically, everything that they tried to take, you guys actually stopped them from taking. And this Hyperborean was not with them. The smaller guy was, but the Hyperborean was not. I mean, clearly they were together, but they weren't. You didn't see the Hyperborean there. So yeah, none of your stuff was here. You could see that whatever they had, like say in their packs, they were like down to their last rations. Like they were definitely like not in a good way. But actually, you went around. They must have a small camp around here, obviously, because how else are they can't sleeping? So you find a small camp. It's got like some tents and some furs. They don't really have much else. So yeah, I'll say that they just basically left their furs, like the bedrolls and stuff. But otherwise, yeah, they got nothing. They're pretty well, except for obviously a set of beautiful armor and a sword.
This silver flame, is it hot? Like, can we feel heat radiating off of it?
Nope. In fact, if you start to get closer to it, you kind of like maybe put your hand up near it or whatever. You can see around the bottom of the flame rather, that it's actually ice is formed below it. And if you put your hand even, as close as, reach up. I mean, you'd have to climb up a bit to actually touch it. But if you get close to it, you can actually feel it's intensely cold. It's actually the opposite of hot. It is cold.
Do you think it's best that we rest it's nightfall and formulate a plan that's best for all of us as we go in? I mean, I will continue, but I will not be at my full strength for quite some time.
Before we enter, it would be wise to give thanks to Auroras. It is the shining one, after all, that brought us here. And then she looks up at the bright flaming flame up on top, and she casts Create Food and Water, and makes a feast and holds a quick ceremony in the honor of her deity, Auroras.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely.
And when it's all done, people eat.
Right, they can't eat until they're all looking at the food, and you're like, I'm not done with the ceremony. Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, so that's awesome. Yeah, so you do a bit of a ceremony. So you guys are gonna set up tents and stuff here, because I mean, you do have that stuff. You can certainly sleep
Yeah, I
there if you
think-
want.
We definitely need more rest. I'm still down a little bit from the other day.
Okay.
Yep, and I could.
Yeah, so whoever's injured, Helene's gonna go up there and cast one moderate wound on Penesta. Hold on.
Okay,
Let's see how
thank
that
you.
turns out.
We see who Helene likes the most.
Thank you.
God's
Helene.
bless, Nesta.
Yeah, and after that
Wow.
ceremony, it really blessed her, I guess. And she looks at Rowan Siege. Is she hurt also?
No, Rowan say just fine.
Is anyone else injured?
Riccio just stands there with her arms crossed, blood running down her face.
Yeah. She walks up to her and says, "Be careful next time." And you could have waited for most of us to join that fight, you know. And she casts Cure Light Wound.
If this is also low, then we know that the gods don't favor it. I didn't see it pop up yet, though. No. Oh, there you go.
Riccio
5
looks
points.
towards you, Helene, and crosses her arms and goes, well, whatever god it is that blesses you with those spells does not seem to favor me as much, but it is fine. I will rest through the night, and maybe you can keep watch for once.
Nice.
Yeah, Helene nods and she says, "I shall do that." And she crosses her arms and, looks far into the horizon.
I will say thank you, Helene, for the healing night. Brighild appreciates it too, even if she can't always express herself.
You know, a little interesting fact I should share with you. Where I'm from, they used to call me Healing rather than Helene. And she smiles at you right after healing you guys.
Brickyard looks over towards Roranseach and kind of gives her the eye like she almost used the wrong word, Helios.
Rowan Sitch giggles.
Nice. All right, so you would, I mean, I don't think, you're not going to do an identification now, right, Crystal? So, but you do know that the sword you picked up was also very nice. So, otherwise, it's mundane equipment that they had, and you definitely can set up. Let's see. So, we're going to do 2 rolls for that because it's nighttime. Who gets to be the lucky roller? Nikki, we'll give us a d6 roll to see if anything occurs in the evening
Oh boy, Mom, do it
as you're
here.
gathered around the mound of the silver flame. It's bright here, anyways.
Ha! 6.
Ah.
Daniel, I got a quick question for you.
Go ahead.
Did Helene cast Remove Curse from Rowan Siege in the last session?
Yeah, she did. It didn't work.
Okay. So she can't cast it again, right?
No, she's got it. Well, it depends on if you took it again today.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah. Well, no, you only have, remember, you only have so many spells to cast. I think you cast, yeah, whatever level that is. If you took it again, then yeah, you can cast it again, sure.
Yeah. She
Yeah.
walks up to our friend Rowan Siege and says, I tried to do this before, but let me try it once more. And then she calls upon the power of Auroras and says, Auroras, give me the power to remove this curse from this woman. And she casts it.
Mhm.
I don't know whether if that would, if she has to roll for anything.
No, it just doesn't. I mean, it's hard to say. You haven't seen her react, since the last time that she, what was it? She hasn't had any eyeball incidents, right? So maybe you wouldn't know if it's working or not, basically, unless she tells you that it is. I'm telling you, meta, it's not working, but that's so the crystal knows she can still role play the other way. But yeah, you have no way of knowing if it's working or not. You assume it is if it's a curse. So I guess that's how that works.
Yeah, she says, if it's a curse, then it should be removed. And she nods and walks away.
Yeah. What else happened here? Oh yeah. So, Nikki, roll me a d10.
D10. Okay.
Yeah.
D10 here. 1.
Nice.
Mhm.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. So when Pinesta is doing her watch, she's kind of sitting there, contemplating whatever Finesta contemplates, writing stories, whatever. In the bright light under the mound, she kind of looks off, maybe to kind of clear the brightness out of her eyes into the darkness. Although it's not that dark, obviously, because the comet's in the sky. So it's like you're trying to sleep, but it's sleeping. And you see a tiny pale blue light. It's about maybe 30 yards or so away. It almost looks like the size of a candle, but it's an odd color. It's like a pale blue. Maybe that's because of the comet, but it's kind of floating just, about 30 yards away outside the camp.
Just out 30 yards from the camp.
Yep. It's to the north, basically, going off into that heath area.
Don't follow the lights. Let's see. Everyone else is sleeping. Who's closest to me? Probably Brig. Oh, she's really hurt. I'm gonna take my I'm gonna take a torch out and light it at the fire that we have, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I can. And I'm gonna kind of I know there's a comet that has the light, but I kind of put the light, well, that wouldn't really work. I'm just gonna take a few steps away from the fire to see if I can see it better actually. Is it still really bright glowing like the silver flame?
Yeah, the silver flame
Right.
is super bright. So as close as you are to the mound, you're practically in daylight. It's like being next
Okay,
to
so I
something
don't need the
incredibly
torch.
bright.
Okay.
No, definitely not. I mean, you probably have a fire there because it is cold. And I'm sure you guys
Right.
have been lighting as much fire as you can, although the wood is not very great. So, you guys
Okay.
are burning whatever fires you can.
So I could just see the blue light though. There's nothing even in this light of the silver flame. I can't see like the shadow of a hand or some kind of appendage holding any kind of light. The light.
No, it appears to be just floating there.
Okay. Curious, I see. I'll walk out a few steps. They'll say, is someone there?
When you stand up, you start walking towards it. It actually moves to maintain pretty much the exact same distance away from you.
Okay.
If you stop and say that, it actually it almost looks like if you were somewhere and somebody put their hand in front of a candle or something. So you see it disappear for a second and then it comes back down. So you see it phase out and then it goes back.
Okay. I'm gonna wake up Rowan Siege. I'm gonna say, Rowan, there's something weird happening.
Oh,
Yes, there's a light. Is it still there? Can I show her?
Yep. You see it floating about. If you walked back, you kind of look, you see it's actually moved closer to you again. So it's about 30 yards away. It seems like it's maintaining its distance.
Okay, I say I tried to walk towards it and it blinked out and back again about the same distance away. So it's either trying to lure me somewhere or it's. What do you think? You're a magician. Swords, right?
well, they say that the dead don't rest well on this land. I don't trust it.
That's true.
Would you like me to fireball it?
Well, I hate to do that if it's not evil. I guess we could assume it's evil. I hate having to assume everything is evil, but
Are the rest of us asleep still?
Yeah, you're asleep.
Okay.
Unless she wants to wake you up. I mean, I'm assuming she's whispering.
yeah. I'll say, I don't think so. Not yet. Let me wake up. Let's wake up. Let's wake up Talos.
Yes.
Oh.
Tell us. Apemen is something.
Okay. Yeah. You wake up Talos. He's he's got his blanket wrapped around him. He looks up at you with his his face is all kind of blackish blues, but it looks like it's healing back a bit from the terrible frostbite. And he looks at you and he says, yes, what is it?
Well, look there at this blue light, and I'll show it. I'll point it out. It seems to want to maintain the same distance from us. We're wondering if we need to fireball it.
kind of side eyes Rowan-Teach a little bit, and he says, well, I mean, violence isn't always the answer. Let's see what he do. He says, hold on a second. Let me see what I can do. And he kind of puts his hand on his forehead, then kind of moves it down in front of his face and kind of closes his eyes. And you can see the stress in his face. He's got kind of an intense concentration. Let me see how this... He's casting a spell, clearly. He says, he concentrates for a minute, and then he says, there's nothing there. It's an illusion. And then he kind of like looks. He says, I sense no mind.
An illusion. But surely someone had to create it.
I have,
Very likely.
I have an idea for something I can do. Rowan Siege is going to cast. Let me make sure it can go the distance. He's going to cast dancing lights around it.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Look at it. Yep. 1d4 plus 4. Flames. Okay. So you cast roll a d4 plus 1.
Oops, I actually that up. Pressed it up twice. There we go. That time I got it.
No. Nice. All right, yeah. So 4 globes of light appear in the area, and they seem. I mean, at first you're thinking, well, maybe they're so bright that you just can't see it because your eyes see these bright torch lights, basically, which would clearly overpower candlelight. But as you're kind of looking, you think that it's gone. You can't see it anymore.
She's gonna kind of like flick her hands, like the lights, like kind of flick them out and like send them out in like a line in front of her, just like as far as they can go, trying to just reveal whoever, if there's any creature or any person in the area.
Okay. They can't go much further than they are because it goes about 120, so, which is basically 40. So it could go a little bit further than it is. So yeah, you send them out past. Yeah, and for sure it's gone. You can't see the little candlelight that was floating there. Seems to be gone, and you don't see any sign of anybody. You don't see, since you can see it's lit over there. You don't see any footprints or anything. It just looks like empty snow.
It was a trap, wasn't it?
I believe so.
Pull up.
Well,
trap.
then somebody is trying to entrap us if it was. I think we should wait the others, or what do you think?
I think whoever goes on watch next, we need to definitely tell them to keep an eye out. Actually, it might be a good idea to. I'll watch the rest of this watch with you, and then for the next watch, let's wake up 2 people.
I agree.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so the rest of this watch goes by. It doesn't come back. The strange light. But let's see. So I guess who are the 2 people you're gonna wake up? Not Brachiel, right? Because she's taking. So it's either Buka and Helene or Revenant and Helene, I guess, right? Or Buka and Revenant.
Remember, Helene volunteered.
That's right.
Yeah, I'd say
Which one wants
Buka.
it, Revna or Buka?
I'd say Buka.
Buka? Okay. I'll wake up Buka and Helene and tell them to keep an eye out for strange lights that try to lure you away from the campfire. Or anything weird, because there's somebody out there messing with us, perhaps. So,
Buka, listen to me, okay? Sweetie, do not go towards the light if you see it. Just
I'll go towards the light.
like let
Okay.
Helene know that you see it. Then you two can figure out what to do together, but don't go by yourself.
I won't. I'll take someone with me.
Okay, thank you.
I'm like poltergeist flashbacks. Don't go in the light. Don't go. No, go into the light. Don't go in the light. Go into the light. Make up your mind.
Period.
Exactly.
Period.
Young, roll me a d6 to see if anything.
All right, hold on.
That movie traumatized me as a child.
Okay, yeah. So the rest of the night passes. You never see the little blue light that they talked about. The flame continues to burn above you, the cold flame, and you slowly but surely see the bloated red Hyperborean sun kind of crest the horizon as the morning starts. So yeah, everybody who is resting can, well, basically everybody, because nobody did more than their regular shift. Well, I guess maybe Helene did a double shift, but she wasn't hurt anyways, I don't think. But anybody who's hurt can roll their hit die. So again, it's half your level number of dice for any healing you want to do from the
You said half my level in hit dice?
yeah. So if you're 6th level, then you'll roll 3.
Yep. Yeah, well, I'm good. I was only down 3 hit points, and I just...
Oh well. Then you got rested up. But like I know Brighill was pretty hurt. And anybody who has spells, like if Helene wants to rememorize, she can do that.
Yeah, the next morning, Brickhill wakes up and seems much refreshed, and she looks towards Panesta and goes, "Well, I think it, my body and my mind is much better. I guess we need to try to figure a plan of trying to enter this place and see if there is treasure or if there is just more death that awaits."
oh,
Well, Rowan Siege has disappeared. Sorry.
I was gonna say, I'm glad that you're feeling a little better, Hilden. I think we got this. It's us.
Well, of course, and it must have been a very peaceful night. I mean, nothing happened, did it?
Oh, somebody did try to mess with us. At least that's what I think. There was a light, and Talos said it was an illusion. And every time I tried to move toward it, it would move away from me. So somebody may have been trying to lure us away from the campfire.
Do you think it may have been Eka trying to maybe he's hurt or injured or needs help somewhere, and maybe he was trying to send some kind of signal?
Oh, Eka. Yes, it could. It fits with his previous behavior. It might have been, but it's too cold and I wasn't about to leave.
Well, no, that is wise that you did not go out and seek it alone, but maybe he can try again if it was him, or show us some more signs that we do know it is him. But like you say, it is best to keep an eye on this and make sure it's nothing. Maybe those people we faced yesterday still have friends up there somewhere.
Yeah. If I see it again, I'll let you know. We just have to be careful. I think this place is going to be it's going to mess around with our heads a little bit.
And Talos, overhearing that conversation, he says, remember too that Eka possesses the ball with the scrying capabilities. He can see where you are. Perhaps you should leave some kind of a sign so that if he looks for you again, he'll know where to come.
That is very wise.
Hmm. But what kind of sign could be better than this blazing flame?
Well, he'll only see the flame. He needs some kind of sign to know which direction to go to get to it. Because with the scrying device, he only sees the area around where you're standing.
That's true.
Perhaps a message in the snow.
I was thinking that, but if it snows again, won't it just cover it up?
Yeah, and as you say that, it starts to snow again. It literally is going to snow again today. I just looked, it's snowing again. Yeah.
Could just leave him a note saying something to the effect of, "Dear Eka, quit screwing around and come find us," and then point where we're going.
We could build a snowman and like have its arm pointing towards the.
I could build a snowman.
I've heard of worse ideas.
Does anybody want to build a snowman?
I'll build a snowman.
Do you want to build a snowman? Okay,
Yes.
yes. Let's do it. I say let's do it.
All right. Does anybody have a snowman construction skill? I think that's a feat.
Yeah, you
It's like
take a snowball and you just start rolling it until it gets really huge, and then you
Real
do
quick,
it
we
again,
should build a little snowman and kind of.
and then you do it again until it gets less huge, and you put that one on top.
All right, that seems like a good.
As
Right. That's how old school role play goes. Right. You describe how you do it. Do you have a carrot for the nose? You did create food, I guess, yesterday. Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
So,
we
anyways,
could
yeah,
use
so you
an
can do-
actual head from one of those guys.
Yeah, Helene says, "Well, I'm not worried about him. I'm sure he'll find us or pop out sometime like he usually does. But we have the blessings of Auroras. I say, whenever you're ready, let's go in."
So where's this place we knock? Supposedly we just knock, right?
I mean, it said to knock. It's very, very rarely that simple, but we'll see. It said to knock upon the stone and enter, so we need to find the stone.
Well, yeah, you can see that there's a big slab. I mean, the whole
Okay, I
thing is
wasn't
made out
sure
of
how
stone.
visible.
Yeah, the stone. There's the actually the little map that you got.
Mhm.
I'll bring it back up again. That's a pretty accurate picture of what this thing looks like. You've got essentially a mound with this, I mean, the flame is obviously cold, and in front of it, although it looks a little bit like a door there, it's literally just it's like a huge 10-foot by 10-foot square block it's a slab. And it has written on it, in kind of very archaic, actually, does anybody speak Hyperborean?
Mm-mm.
I do not.
You know what? I wonder what's his intelligence. I'll make a chance. All right. We'll say you have 2 and 6 that Talos speaks it. Oh, yeah, Talos does. It actually, you can see that there's a blaspheme. It actually has a blaspheme against Sithagwa written on it, and he actually doesn't want to speak it aloud what it says, but he tells you it's a blaspheme against Sithagwa.
Oh. Well, that's not great. Considering how many worshippers of Sithagwa there are.
Indeed. Let's see what else. So Yeah, he says this is a door. Apparently, is that what the under? Because you haven't showed on the map. You know, you didn't show us the map. You just told him about it.
Yep. Yeah, it says to knock on the stone, but I'm not sure what they mean by knock. Do they just mean like? It seems like a big slab, right? So just knocking probably.
Knock. Roll a d6.
Okay.
Just gonna do it this way because I don't have any other way to do it.
6.
Book is just going to go over and knock on it.
Just bang on it. Yeah, you
Yeah.
hit this thing with your you rap on it with your fist. It's very, very like it's when you hit a door, you can tell it's hollow on the other side. This thing's so thick, it just you're literally hitting a rock. You knock a couple times, and it was waiting maybe patiently for something to happen. It doesn't seem to have any effect. As you examine this thing, it's clearly pushed against this. It's like literally pushed against the mound, so it's not like set into any hinges or anything. But you can see, you can see that you could probably wedge something in between, but it would be incredibly difficult to move this thing. It's huge. But like I said, there's no hinges or anything. When you knock on it, nothing seems to happen.
I rolled a 5 on my d6.
5? Okay. 16. Okay. No. So let's see. I'm just going to do it this way because I'm just going to give you everything Talos has if you want to use anything he's got.
Maybe he has a knock spell.
He does have a knock spell. If you wanted to use it, let's see. This is what he's got. But he doesn't need to have a knock spell. He's got Charm, Decipher Languages, Featherfall, Hold Portal, Light, Protection from Evil. I'm going to send you I'm putting it in this chat. But these are all the spells. All of his spells are at your disposal.
Okay.
Then he has ESP, which is what he casts the night before, but he rememorized it. Gust of Wind. He does have Knock. He's got Levitate, Mirror Image, Strengthen. Black Cloud is what made it snow. Dispel Magic, Whole Burst. You see the rest of them.
Okay. Does he have a? Oh yeah. Okay. Never mind. We could have him cast Knock, but it's super loud, I think.
No, I think that's only in 5e. Let me check that.
Is that one? Okay.
I know it's not in like other older editions. I actually have never used it in this. Knock spell. 60-foot range, automatically opens any stuck or locked door, gate, other portal, including chests, coffins, set of manacles, even secret doors. Sorcerer locked. So it only opens it for one turn, basically. It doesn't disarm traps, but it does not make any kind of sound like it does. I don't know why. I don't know where that came from, but I know in 5e it's really loud, but not in old school games usually.
No, this one. Okay.
Is
It
that what
just
you want to
says
do?
knock. I'm missing something, she says. It's a blaspheme against Sathagwa, he said.
Did Talos basically tell us that he has the knock spell?
Yeah, he goes through his list of spells that he's got.
Helium goes, well, I'm no sorcerer, but if you say that you have a spell named Knock, I'd say it's a fair game. Why don't you try that one?
Yeah, since Buka cannot make it move at all.
He loosened it.
Huh.
Yeah, he'll walk up and cast a spell. That's what you want him to do. Yeah, he says, stand back, as wizards do. and he raps on the door twice really hard. And yeah, it's not particularly loud. It sounds basically like somebody hitting a stone. Rap, rap.
Okay.
And he kind of turns and looks back at the group. And then he turns back, and the the stone starts to shake, and then slowly sinks into the ground, revealing a passageway beyond.
Nice.
And inside, you smell kind of this like stale air, but in contrast, the place inside looks like immaculate. Like you don't see any like spider webs. Doesn't seem like it's rotted or falling apart or anything. It's beautiful inside. It's let's say incredibly well preserved. The walls are white plaster that looks like brand new, like freshly applied and painted. The floors are colorful abstract mosaics. The ceiling is vaulted 15 feet or more high. However, there is no light in here. You're just seeing light like from the outside shining in. So if you go in too far, you'll probably need some kind of light source, but you can see into it right now. Let me give you the first. Let me picture the map. Number 1. As you enter into the mound of the silver flame. Okay. I'm assuming you enter from here. Yep. Okay. So you're looking down this hallway. I put you guys there, right? You gotta go to the top to see it. Yep.
Yep.
Okay. You're looking down a hallway. As noted, white plaster, mosaic floors, colorful. At the end, you see a door. That door is it's a polished bronze. The ceiling is 15 feet high, and it is vaulted. Like I say, there's no and it smells stagnant, like clearly it's been closed for a long time. And like I say, you can see the door down there because the light from the outside is shining in, and it's the daytime. But you can tell there's no light sources, like there's no farm magical light inside or anything.
Brickhield is going to look towards Revna and go, Revna, if you want to proceed somewhat ahead of us and check things along the passage, if you would like to stay somewhat in the shadows, there is something I can give you to help you see your vision, that you will not need any external light sources to mess up your other things that aid you if you would like.
Well, sure.
Brickhill is going to reach out with both hands and put both hands over the eyes of Revna and shut her eyes, and you feel almost a heat in your eyes for just a moment, and she says a few words you don't understand. As she takes her hands away and you look down the passageway again, you start to succumb to the dark and see more of light in the infrared spectrum as I'm casting infrared vision upon Revna.
Nice.
So Revna kind of tenses up because for a moment she forgot that Brighild was actually a warlock, and she only seems to view her as a warrior. And then when she remembered, she kind of tenses up, then she takes it. But when she pulls her hands away, she kind of blinks and looks around, and she's kind of like doing that eye blink with her mouth open, like somebody just gave her 2 set of eye drops. And then when everything settles in, she's just like thinking to herself, like you hear her whisper under her breath. She's like, "Oh, I've got to learn how to do this." And then she starts making she makes her way forward, trying to step into the shadows.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, as you proceed forward into the hallway, it's getting, not to you because you have the infrared vision, but you can actually see the change where the infrared vision starts to take over from the external light that's pouring in from the outside. And so, I mean, you're moving forward will put you basically in the shadow, if you will, towards the door. And as noted, it's a bronze door and it is polished. It looks like somebody polished it 10 minutes ago. It's gleaming. You can totally see yourself in the very little bit of light that's still reflecting. You can see yourself in the reflection as you move down towards it. What's everybody else doing? waiting, I guess.
Waiting to see if I get eaten by something again.
Right.
I mean, I think we'd be
Yeah,
watching
Tuku will
her
move
and-
in behind her.
yeah.
Yeah. And if they got right up on my butt, it would kind of defeat the purpose of me going ahead
Mhm.
and checking everything. So
Yeah. So you're cautiously moving down the hallway, seeing if you seeing what you can see, basically.
yeah.
Okay.
And if I reach the, I hear dice rolling.
You might
If
have.
I reach the door unmolested by the hallway,
Yeah, you do.
I'm going to be checking any doors that I come across by listening, looking for a keyhole, things like that. Pressing my ear to the door,
Okay.
and
Fair enough.
and then of course, inspecting it for traps.
Okay. This door, this first door you come to, a polished bronze, has a beautiful handle. Again, it's all bronze. Like it's not actually has no decoration on it, which is kind of strange, but kind of amazing because it's just like you don't even see the like dents as however they flattened it to make it so perfect. It's strange in a way. It has a handle and no keyhole at all. You put your ear to the door and listen. Let's see. Okay. And that's a certain noise, and you're gonna then look to see if there's anything up the door as far as traps. Okay. Okay, yeah. You put your ear to the door and listen. You hear absolutely nothing. It sounds like either dead as a tomb, as it would be. In fact, you hear more noise coming from the outside, but maybe you cover your extra ear to make sure, but it absolutely sounds nothing. And you kind of look around the frame of the door, for any signs that there could be some kind of booby trap, like any kind of like pit that might be in front of the door that you'd fall in, or, any kind of strings or a latch or something that could, you check the handle to make sure it doesn't have any kind of like spring-loaded device. And it looks pretty clean. Yeah.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to pull the door open gently and just wide enough for me to try and just stick my head in the opening and peer inside and see what I can see.
Okay. Cool. All right, yeah. So you're looking into a room 30 feet east to west. The door you're coming from is on the north wall in the center. Goes about 40 feet north to south. In the center of the room, directly across from you, is a statue. The walls themselves of this room are lined with, I guess if you took the time to count them, you could count them, but tons of faces. They seem to be Hyperborean. There's no light in this room, by the way, so you're just seeing it with like the bits of like infrared lights pouring in. They seem to be Hyperborean as far as the features you see. All of them seem to be in some kind of anguish or agony, and they have their mouths wide open. And they're all just kind of staring, and you can see the weird shapes to the eyes. And because you're seeing with infrared vision, you don't see all the details, so you imagine things are painted in here, but you can't really see that. Insofar as the statue, it's on a plinth. It's fairly large, about 12 foot tall. It seems to be made out of possibly iron from the distance. You can see it. It's okay, and here the ceiling raises to 30 feet high too. Let's see. So on a 5 foot tall marble block, the center of the south wall is a 12-foot iron statue depicting a sneering, arrogant looking man attired in Hyperborean robes. The statue's right hand rests on the hilt of a sword, and its left extended outward, palm up. So it's like this, and it's got the sword. And there's actually a picture of this. The sculpted faces have disturbingly realistic paint. You can't see that. But you can see the strange faces, very realistic. Let me show you the picture. Okay. So that's kind of what it looks like. There's Nesta going, what is or somebody.
Okay.
So looking up at this thing. Yeah, this guy's got a cool helmet on. These faces are all like, yeah.
So the first thing that Rodna's going to do is she's going to turn and put one finger up to the people behind, telling them to hold on a minute. And I want to go look at these faces that are carved in the wall.
Okay.
Because they all look like they're in anguish. I want to make sure and look and see if where they have their mouths open in anguish, is it like a hole in the wall, or is it just like a relief carving where the mouth is open, but you can like take your finger and get to the, like if I was to take my finger and put it inside the mouth, does it just hit a piece of stone, or is it literally like a hole that disappears?
Okay, good question. So you're gonna put your finger in?
No, I'm going to look at it. I want to see if it's a hole that just disappears into nothingness, or is
Okay.
it just a carving where it's, like 2 or 3 inches back in. In other words, does it look like I'm checking the faces to look like, is it just a relief carving, or does it look like there's something that could come out of the mouth holes?
Fair enough. Yes, you kind of look at it, okay, getting the best vision, obviously, with the infrared vision. They appear to just be relief carvings. You could probably put your finger into them if you want to. They go in maybe like 2 inches, maybe a little bit more.
I'm going to keep my fingers right inside my little hands. So I'm going to, I'll reappear at the doorway and just kind of, use my 4 fingers, and I'll just wave the others on into the room.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if the rest of you come down the corridor, you'll see again this door. If you want to open it up all the way around, so they can get through. It is dark in here though, so at this point you'll need some kind of light source if you're not able to see in the dark. Which would be? Did you also cast infrared vision on yourself, per guild? You can
No,
guess on two
she
people.
was going to wait right now and see before she
Okay.
does that.
All right.
But if they
All
start
right, yeah,
to
so-
light a light source, I'm going to just kind of like cup my eyes, use my hand as a blinder and not look at the light. So I'm pretty sure that would be painful.
Yeah, exactly. It'll definitely be odd, and like it'll start to be like weird because you'll see like both bouncing back and forth. By the way, I didn't mention this, but I figured you see in the map there are doors on both the east and west walls, about 20 foot down. Yeah, so there are actually 2 additional doors here. So yeah, and those doors are also polished bronze doors. So yeah, everybody comes into the room. You can see the same thing. So who's got a light source?
I think I have a lantern. I think Crystal's character had a hooded lantern, maybe, or if we can.
Okay.
use
Yeah,
a
I
lantern.
have a torch. That's what I have.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we can. I hopefully Crystal will be able to pop back in. I know she's having some internet problems, so we'll just assume that she's standing in the back with the lantern if you want. So yeah, she can shine it in here so everybody can see. And if anybody else wants a light source, just keep in mind that obviously if you have a light source in your hand, that no shield or no whatever sword or whatever you want to do it. I guess Helene actually technically can't because she has a 2-handed weapon. Unless she wants to drop it. Not the weapon, but the thing. Yeah, so what does everybody want to do? Come into this room. You see this giant statue. Oh, by the way, now that you came in here and you have an actual light source, Talos comes, walking in. You notice, again, with the light source, well, 2 things. Number 1, all the faces have their eyes. And so this room is basically just like white stone carved. Like the whole room is stark white. But all of the faces, their eyes are painted. And like, not just like a black dot, but like very realistically painted. But none of the rest of the face, just everything's white except for the eyes. So you see different color eyes, like green eyes and brown eyes and blue eyes, some kind of maybe some gray eyes, and you see some differences. And it's as you look at them, it's kind of maybe a little creepy. The other thing is on the marble block, you can see now there's writing on it. It is written in Hyperborean esoteric. Oh, okay. So we already established that Talos speaks Hyperborean, so we can actually decipher it. Nobody else speaks Hyperborean, right? Yeah. So actually, I'm going to make him make a test of intelligence. Somebody roll that for me, a D6 for him. We'll see if he can interpret it. If not, he'll have to cast a spell to do it.
D6?
Yeah. So he's got a 16 inch, so that gives him a 3 and 6.
Nope. Not with me. doing
Okay,
it.
yeah. So he can't interpret it directly, but he says he can cast a spell. if you want him to. But you can see though that it is it's got writing on it. If you want him to use that
think
spell,
we should. I think we should. Don't you think, guys?
Okay.
Yes, maybe it would help us understand or interpret further into this structure.
Agreed.
Okay.
Know what we're getting into, sort of thing.
Yeah.
While they read, I'm going to go and inspect both doors just to clear out any chance of detecting a trap or listening on the other side. That way, when we choose to leave, that part's already done.
Okay, fair enough. I'll do all that. I'll check those checks. I just want to see how long this lasts. 1 turn per cast level. Oh, okay, so this is going to last for a little while. So he'll cast this spell. It's actually going to last for an hour and a half, so he's got a little time. So he casts the Decipher Language spell. And he will read what it says underneath the statue. I guard the tomb of Kaven, and Kaven is Ka-Ven, the illustrious, sage and sorcerer, mighty king of Hyperborea. No cheap trinket shall serve as a passkey. So again, I'll read it. I guard the tomb of Kaven the illustrious, sage and sorcerer, mighty king of Hyperborea. No cheap trinket shall serve as a passkey. So that's kind of written on the statue's base, and I'm going to put this into the chat so everybody has it. Actually, I'll put it in Roll20, that way it stays, as opposed to putting it into...
Have you ever heard of that person before, Panesta, in any of the stories or legends?
Let me think. Have I, Daniel?
2 in 6 chance. Yeah.
2 and 6. Okay, let me roll it. D6. Aha, a 2.
Ah, okay. So you've heard him a little bit. So, you've heard of Comet. He was an astrologer and king and sorcerer and a sage. Hyperborean, obviously. This is back before the Green Death. And he actually, what you know of him is that when it kind of stuck out was that he came to the throne when, people were just starting to turn away from Apollo and towards Zizakwa. But unlike many of the other kings that tried to kind of get their people to stay with Apollo and, see the folly of following the bat toad, he actually promoted people to do it and said, no, you should follow Zizakwa. And from what you know, or what you've heard, people believe that he had made some kind of a deal with Zizakwa for power.
Okay. Made a deal with... Okay. I look at Brick Hills and I say, well, it makes more sense now why there's a blaspheme on the outside of the tomb. If he was for Sithakwa and others were not, whoever discovered he was buried here might have been angry still. But this all happened long, long ago, before the Green Death even. And I would tell her what you just said.
Well, let's hope he did not make some deal where he has the longevity of his life and is still roaming these halls.
Well, I hope that. I wouldn't bet on it. I mean, with what we've seen in the past, it could totally be a possibility.
Of course, we have Buka for things like that.
We do. Buka's very good at things like that. Aren't you, Buka?
What? What am I good at?
Taking care of business.
Yes, I can do that.
Well, it is rather strange. This is, like I said, this is his tomb, and somebody defamed or blasphemed Sithagwa on the outside of it, which is why I think, other forces at work here and all that. So. And
Well, I
what
guess-
relation does this have to the comet is my other question, right?
Right. Go ahead and roll. There's a chance to tell us. He's a high level wizard. He might know this actually too. So roll a d6 for him. We'll give
Okay.
him the same chance as you. And if he gets a 1, he'll know more than you. Oh, aha!
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Ah,
So you're telling your whole story, then Talos is like, actually, no, he doesn't do that. He listens and he says, yes, this is all true. Insofar as my research, this could be very interesting. What we find here. Also, his eyes light up. Kaven was a sage unlike any other. So they say that, unfortunately, I guess, Brighild, what you're saying is exactly what was said. That he had signed an agreement with to live for a long, long time. Not forever, but for a long, long time. And at the time of his death, he would give his soul to the bat toad, to Sithagwa. But they say that he found a loophole in the contract and was able to put off and not die by trapping himself. And he kind of looks around, he says, in a tomb, protected from the power of the god. And they say shortly after that, the Green Death came to Hyperborea.
well, there are other gods that maybe bring his demise if he is still roaming these halls. If Buka cannot do it.
I was gonna say, if we don't have,
So we
If
just
gods can't do
opened
it,
up
we
the
will.
thing that's been keeping them locked up.
No. If the stories are true, he could never leave this place because if he stepped from the doors, Sasako would claim his soul.
Oh, so we just drag them out.
You see him smile, his like black lips from the frost. A couple teeth are missing. I like you.
Yeah, we got this. We could do this.
I'll just say, while she's holding the lantern back there, if we could have your fire friend maybe not burn all the books in here. There's sure to be books.
I will. I think we could probably arrange that.
Well, I've been keeping an eye on her with all these eyes. The last time she kind of freaked out with the eye things. I mean, even these eyes are freaking me out a bit. So,
Yeah,
Now-
it does actually seem like when you kind of look away from the eyes and you look back, like they're kind of moving, but you never see them move, but it's kind of like they do seem a bit off, actually.
It's like one of those paintings where the eyes follow you.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, we have all those eye necklaces, including an enlarged one.
That's right. But that might have faded, right? That's not permanent, is it?
Right, yeah.
It would be amazing if it
will-
was. That's a good way to make a business, keep enlarging jewelry, then selling it.
Enlarged jewelry, sell it, and then just run away before it
Yeah.
fades again. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Exactly.
But no, I would say there was around the necks of those creatures we fought. So, somebody who worships, I mean, like we decided before, or determined before, there's a lot of people who worship Sithagwa, but
Yeah.
in this area with this motif on this tube, just makes me think, I don't know, it's all coming together, right?
Maybe we should be wearing them.
Maybe we
What you're
should, maybe
saying?
we should pretend we are. Maybe it would scare him if we had them. Not scare him, but make him think twice if he thought we were followers of the god come to take his soul. I could truly believe you were some sort of stealer of souls, Buka. when you get really angry, you want to wear. I think you should. You at least should wear one.
I'll work
I
on
don't
it.
know.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't care. But isn't Roan Siege going to freak out when she sees it again?
I will do my best to keep her under control since I know her. If I have to restrain her, I will restrain her for us.
Okay. I mean, I'll do it. I just don't want to end up. I mean, I'd like to have hair again. Hair and beard would be nice.
We'll try to make sure that you keep those things this time.
And books, Talos says.
And books, yeah. Well, I don't really agree with burning books either, Talos. So
Think of the
Often good
lore
stories.
from before the time that Hyperborea of the Green Death that could be stored in here if the magics are true.
I think we're going to find many old things here, and I think it's all going to be very valuable. But anyway, Buka, if you see anything that looks like this guy, and I point to the statue, make
Like
sure you
him.
show that eye and yell, "I have come for you," or something like that. You know, be creative with
Okay.
it. Like,
Well, who's got the eye? I'll take the eye.
we have 4 of them, I think. So you can have. I'll give you one. Yeah, necklaces, 4 in shape of an eyeball.
Okay. I'll put it around me. Now, if
Would
I
you like his
transform,
potion of
this isn't going
levitation as
to
well, so that you can pretend to fly at them? You can do that too.
levitation.
I have a potion of levitation. Well, we do. Somebody does.
Now you want me flying? I kind of like my feet on the ground.
Okay. I'll hold on to it.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, it's a nice idea, but I'm sort of a man of the earth. I like to keep my feet grounded.
Fair enough.
I mean, I know you like flying around, your little carpet thing, but that's not me.
Okay. I'm sure someone will find it useful at some point. So just remember we have it. Potion of levitation.
Right, so Revned, during this period where they're kind of making a plan here and figuring out the writing, you listen to the doors and kind of check them as you head to the others. They are quiet, but the door to the east, so the one on the right as you're looking at the screen, that door, as you're kind of going around the edge looking for any kind of tripwire or trap or anything like that, you actually kind of can feel just the very slightest bit of a cool breeze coming.
So I will turn to the others while they're doing their thing. And I'll just say, the doors don't seem to be trapped or anything, but there is definitely a draft around this one. There's air moving on the other side.
Well, maybe we should check the other one first then.
However you all wish to proceed, I'm just letting you know what I have found.
Yeah, we'll try the other one first, because if that one has something, we don't want something sneaking up from behind us.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, unless, yeah.
Well, the only thing I can think of is, it could just be another way into the outside, but is the air that I feel around the door, is it cold or is it?
It is cold, yeah.
Yeah, the air is cold, so it leads me to believe it's air from the outside. So it could be a way out, or it
Could be a way up.
could be a way up where there was blue fire, and that's not. While some of us seem to enjoy our fire, and then she kind of rolls her head and takes a look over at Rowan Siege. She's like, I am in no hurry to get in the middle of blue flames. especially magical ones. So she starts making her way over to the other door.
Okay. Yeah, like the first door. It is got a handle but no lock.
Okay. Same procedure.
Yeah, I already rolled all that. You were doing that while they were doing the other.
Oh,
You didn't
yeah,
detect
okay.
anything on this door. Yeah, this door was quiet and no weird sound or anything.
Yeah, so
you checked both.
so same procedure. I'm gonna pull it open and stick my
Oh,
head
gotcha.
in to take a look down and see what I see.
Okay. You see a corridor. Another door at the end. Interestingly enough, in this corridor, on both walls, with little gap in between, there are mirrors. They are only about 5 foot tall, but they're about they're like 2 feet off the ground. Basically, they're attached to the wall, so they're like about 2 feet off the wall. So they run from 5 to 7 basically, and each of them is really wide though, almost 10 feet. So there's only a couple inches between them, and there's I guess 6 on the north wall and 6 on the south wall. They're facing each other.
These were the faces again, you said?
Nope, mirrors.
Mirrors. Okay. Yeah, I'll start making my way down the hallway.
Okay, you're just gonna walk straight down the middle.
Well, I mean, when I get in front of the mirrors, I'm obviously gonna kind of pause and make sure I'm not gonna get zapped.
Okay. Do you want to examine them in any way, or except just gonna walk down the center and stop, look, and then stop, look?
She'll examine the first one she gets to just to see if there's anything weird about it. But in the
Okay.
short time she's been with this group, she's learned not to trust much of anything.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you turn towards you're walking in the middle of the corridor. You kind of turn towards the mirror. They're on the north and the south wall. So do you look at the north one? We'll say whatever, it doesn't matter. It looks like a mirror. I mean, it's clean. You can see, obviously, you can see yourself reflected in it, but then you also see, because of the mirror behind you, reflection. You see that that effect where you have like the mirror back and forth. So you can see yourself reflected multiple times.
So, but nothing.
No, I mean, standing in the hallway like that, nothing seems to happen here.
Nothing weirdos going on. Okay, so yeah, I'll just I'll make my way on down the hallway.
Okay. Yeah, you walk down each mirror, just kind of glancing as you walk back and forth. They all seem to be reflecting you. And you make your way down to the door at the end, which is another bronze door. This one, like the others, it's got a handle, but it doesn't have any lock on it at all. And I guess everybody else can see you. You guys can see that she's made it down to the end.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and open the door and take a peek.
Okay. Definitely do that. Okay. Everybody sees Revenant get down to the end and open the door and look inside. And this is maybe a little bit more of an elaborate room. And again, this place, the air in here is a little bit stuffy, but everything in here is like immaculate. These mirrors are like crystal, completely look like they've just been cleaned. I mean, everything's like beautiful, no dust. Okay, so this one, the floor of this room is stacked with funerary offerings. Decorative furniture, brightly dyed textiles, wicker baskets full of grain and fruit. Myriad clay pots and bowls, small idols. They look like they're Hyperborean in nature. Teak chests. Again, they look very well preserved from what you can tell. Floating near that's the basic part. Floating near the 20-foot high ceiling are 12 silvery orbs. Each of them about 3 feet in diameter. They kind of look like large soap bubbles, but the inside is obscured because they're silvery. Each one has a little bit of a color to distinguish it from the others. Let's see. So there's a bunch of different colors. There's silver, there's scarlet, crimson. I mean, they're all silver, but there's scarlet, there's crimson, there is orange, it's deep orange, there's light orange, there's brass, gold, yellow, pale green and dark green. So you got a bunch of colors in here kind of floating. So you get these balls floating in the center of the room. Otherwise, there's also, hold on, there's sky blue, pale violet. That's a lot of them. But in royal purple. And that's the last one. Yep. So a whole bunch of balls floating in here in the ceiling, near the 20-foot ceiling. So, I mean, they're only 3 foot and they're up at the ceiling, so you couldn't just, reach them with your hand. You'd have to somehow get up to them if you wanted to investigate them further. But the room itself otherwise has a bunch of mundane looking stuff, but high quality, stuff that you normally would put with in a tomb. Although, for a tomb that supposedly is older than Hyperborea, essentially, before the Green Death, everything in here looks perfectly brand new.
Ooh. Yeah, I'll motion to the others to come on down the hall, but as they get close to the door, I'll kind of give them a motion to just slow down a little bit. Don't just come barging in.
Okay.
As we walk down the hall of mirrors, if you look in the mirrors, is there anything weird in the reflections, or is it just us?
You're just walking down the center of the hall?
Yes.
No, it looks fine. No, I mean, it just looks fine. I'm just asking. So, yeah, no, doesn't seem any.
Yeah.
I mean, is everybody just getting to this
kinda
door?
looking
I mean, are you guys gonna walking straight down the center of the hall and into the room, or are you guys gonna get to the door and wait outside? What's your plan?
When I see the bubbles there floating or orbs, is there any kind of noise emanating from them?
Bubbles.
No, it's quiet in the room.
The bubbles.
So everybody's just kind of walking straight down the hallway and into the room.
Yeah, I don't want to go into the room, and like I
Yeah.
said, I'm just kind of making sure the mirrors are all good and
We
not weird.
still have nightmares about the bubble bath.
Yeah. And
So
plus,
you're gonna go. So you're gonna
plus-
all kind of move down to the end and cluster by the door to look inside.
yeah,
so you can
because
all
I
see inside.
Yes.
I kind of motioned to them to slow down, and so when they get to the
Okay.
door, I'm gonna be pointing up.
Yeah.
At
Just
the
making sure.
bubbles. Yep.
Okay, yeah. So you guys move down. You're walking straight down the center of the corridor. When you get, who's first after Revnu?
I think Buka said he was going right at
All right, cool.
after.
Yeah.
And you're just going to go down. You're not walking in the room either, right? You're just kind of walking down, stopping behind Revnu or whatever, or next to Revnu.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So you move down, and you get down kind of right next to Revnu, so you can look into the room. And when you do, because now there are two of you in there, side by side, both of you make sorcery saving throws.
Oh.
Revnu and Buka.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
So this is why I was getting ready to make the comment about stop playing so innocent, Daniel.
I wanted to know
Right.
precisely where this was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
She said,
I don't want you to feel like you're being entrapped. Go ahead and make your saving throw, Rush.
yeah, I got trying to get
Yeah,
the Zoom window is popping up.
because it looks like
Right, here we go.
the by the power of Buka. Oh, nice. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So you guys walk down to the end, and probably go ahead and what I'm going to do. I'm going to roll surprise. So go ahead, Brinkhild and Podesta, both roll a d6. If you get a 1 or a 2, then I'm going to say you don't notice it getting weird, and you might also be victim to this. Otherwise, you'll notice something weird happening, but stop before you get.
I had a 4.
Oh no! Oh no!
I just rolled a
So
freaking
Podesta
one.
does not notice it. So Podesta doesn't notice that there's anything weird, and she steps near them as well. So make a sorcery saving throw there, Podesta.
Okay. 9, 20, 20. All right.
Luckily, you guys have really good saving throws because you're high level. So
Well, I also get a +2 bonus.
Oh yeah, I rolled an 18.
nice. Okay. Yeah. So you guys all kind of get down there, and you feel like you kind of get close to the mirror, and you actually feel yourself like, oh, there's like a moment where you feel like a distortion, almost like you're starting to get pulled towards the mirror, and then you just kind of shake it off, and you see actually your reflection in the mirror shimmer a bit, and then kind of stop and freeze, and then go back to being normal again. And you feel like that there's something up with these mirrors if you get too close to them. Like you kind of the way you avoided it was you kind of started to feel the pull and you stepped away. So you're kind of now all single file in the middle of the hallway again, and they don't seem to be bothering you. but you're now single file in the hallway, so you can't all look in the room at once.
There's something up with the, okay.
And how high
Um,
did you say the orbs are from the ground? Like if you wanted to reach up, how high are they off the ground?
20.
Oh,
The ceiling is
feet.
20. Yeah, well, the ceiling's 20 feet, and they're about 3 feet. So let's say they're not quite touching them, but just so about 17 feet to the bottom of the orb.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, they're up there. I mean, there are tables and stuff in here, so you could probably reach them if you wanted to, or
How
or potion of levitation.
how tall? Hey, Buka, how tall are you?
Over 6 foot. What am I? 6'3".
Oh wow! If I could, he take like my spear and like maybe reach up and touch one with the tip of the spear, maybe if he would.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. A spear would reach up there. Spear's almost 10 feet wide, like they're like 7, 8, 9 feet wide. It's a short spear, right?
Yeah, I got a short spear.
Yeah, you should be able to. I mean, you probably have to fully extend yourself, but you can probably reach it with. You want to poke one? Uka?
Yeah, I was gonna suggest to him maybe like just to touch one, maybe like try to push it away or push it off to see if it would move on its own or whatever.
Gotcha.
If he would do it, if you don't want to do it, I can try to do it.
No, I'll do it.
Okay. Let's see. Let me go back to the colors, unless you remember them all. Hold on. Let's see. Where are my colors again? All right. So
Purple
you've got,
sphere into silver sphere.
yeah, or you could just pick 1 through 12. But if you want to pick the color, all right. So they're all silvery, but there's scarlet, crimson. There are 2 different reds. Deep orange, light orange, brass, gold, yellow, pale green, dark green, sky blue, pale violet, royal purple.
Dark green corner pocket.
All right. Yes, you can try to push it. Let me see how this works. Da-da-da-da-da. Okay. Yeah, you can push it. You push it. It feels kind of like heavy, and obviously you're at an awkward angle reaching up with a long stick, but you're a pretty strong guy. You can move it a little bit. You kind of like push it a bit, but the ceilings are like, it's like an arch ceiling, so you kind of push it a little bit, and when you do, it kind of rolls back up the ceiling after you let go of it. But you can definitely move it.
Nothing else happens, huh?
I
No,
stick
it
it?
doesn't break or anything. Yeah, if you want to stick it. I mean, if you want to stick it, you could try. But yeah, it didn't break or anything just from touching it.
Do you want me to stick it?
Mm.
Um,
I'm going to stick it.
yeah, why not? We can't just stand around all day. Stick it,
Famous last words. All right, make an attack roll.
right?
Yeah.
AC 7.
Okay, yeah. So you stab it, but it's around, and you're reaching up with a spear, so you kind of like glance it, and it kind of like moves a little bit out of the way. You miss it.
Yeah.
Basically, it's not as, I mean, when you first see it, it kind of looks like a soap bubble. You're thinking even touching it would break it, but it's pretty strong. Like you stab into it, it doesn't break.
Oh, these things are tough. I'm going to stick it again.
All right, go for it. Oh, that does it.
I'm
Oh
beginning
wow,
to hate these things.
nice. Yeah, so so it starts to roll back, and you're just like, well, forget about being subtle, and you jam this thing, and it makes a very this is dark green, right? It makes like a nice poppy sound, boop, and from it falls a hideous blob covered with mouths that seem to be talking in some language that's you can't even understand. They're talking over each other, and it's a bit of a strange echoing as they're doing this. But yeah, it falls down, and it is violent, and it is going to attack. So what does everybody want to do? This thing falls on the ground in front of you. What would you like to do, Pernesta?
I I'm kind of standing near the door, right? So I could probably could I get it with my longsword, or do I need to do the boom? Like how
You
close am
could
I?
move and hit it with the longsword. Sure, it's a small room.
Okay, I'll do
Anybody can move into the room and hit it if you like, or you could
Melee.
throw a missile at it. Okay. Buka with the spear,
But,
or if you want to switch weapons.
yeah, I'm going to hand the spear back to Brighild,
Okay.
and I will take out the hand axe.
All right. Revna, you see this gross mouthy thing. It's like blah 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 blah.
I guess I'm right in the middle of the room too. So I will whip out the longsword this time.
Nice. Not messing around. How about Brickhill? You're taking your spear back.
Yeah, she looks at the goop and the mess on the end of her spear tip, and she says, "Oh, thanks. I'm gonna cast a spell."
Nice.
Just
how about-
stick it.
How about Helene? You're over there.
Well, I'll take your spear back if you want.
She's gonna rush up there and attack.
Nice. All right. Young, roll a d6 for initiative for your side. This thing got a 5. Ooh, okay, it's going first. All right, so everybody, because you're all there, can go ahead and make a sorcery saving throw. You can modify it with a willpower adjustment if you have one. Yeah. As you hear this thing go.
13 exactly. Ooh, boy,
Okay.
just made it.
Man, me too. 13 exactly with that +2.
Oh no. Okay.
So does your willpower not normally factored in?
That's right. If you have a high enough wisdom, you get a willpower adjustment for some saves.
Okay, but it should already be factored in on the sheet, right?
No,
Okay.
it should not be. So add.
Well,
If you do you have a willpower? You have a what's your wisdom?
it's not high enough.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not normally factored. Oh yeah, no, it's not normally factored in, depending on how you did the sheet. Because it would be something extra. All right, so those of you who failed.
Vikings are very susceptible to these.
They show them a beer and then it's over.
All right, so you guys are victim to basically the confusion spell. Okay, we're gonna roll to see what you guys do when we get to you. Hold on, you're okay. You guys sorcerers. Okay, at the start of each round. Okay, so I guess because it's the start now, so we'll go. You guys can roll your own thing. Who failed? Just Buka and Revna? So let's just handle you guys first, because that's always fun. Roll a d10, Mike and Rush. Okay, 2. You will stand idle, drooling, and confused this round.
Well, that's normal.
Oh,
He's the
oh
berserker.
no, Helene also failed.
He's a berserker.
yeah.
That's like a Tuesday for him.
That's usually after he attacks, though.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Revna, and roll.
7.
You're going to attack the closest creature. So that could be anything, because your guys are all kind of clustered together. So we'll deal with that in a second. And Jan, go ahead and roll for Helene. D10. Okay.
He got an 8.
8. Closest creature. Okay. So I'm going to roll randomly to see who you guys attack. Obviously, you can't attack yourself. So if I roll you, then you'll attack the Mauler. So for Revna, I rolled a 3. 1, 2, 3 would be you. So you're actually going to attack the Mauler, even though you're confused.
Woohoo!
And for Helene, 3. You're going to attack Revna. He's like, woo! Oh.
Amazonians are so jealous of Viking beauty.
That must be it. Okay. All right. So everybody's basically
You
no.
gotta get it,
there's
girlfriend.
right. Melee happens first. So, hold on. Now I forgot. Pernesta, you're attacking with a sword, right? Or did you say boomerang?
Yes.
Okay,
I
go
said
for it.
Okay. At this point, I'm not sure what good it will do, but I'll try. All right. Ooh, that's a 16 plus. So I hit armor class -2.
That hits.
Okay, and I do 10 points of damage.
10? Holy crap. All right. Yeah.
Yep.
Ouch. You smash it. You cut into this thing. It like kind of splits in half and like ooze kind of drips to the ground. And you see that even inside of it, there's mouths, and they spit up the ichor, and they start gibbering as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a terrible, terrible blow to this creature. Although it's now gibbering more, but it won't actually mechanically do anything differently. And then we will go to Buka, who's drooling, and then to Revna, who is attacking the creature.
Okay. So because I'm confused and probably scared, I'll be going two-handed on this one.
Nice.
So,
Oh,
hit
heck
these.
yeah.
Holy
Okay.
crap. Damage 10.
Wow, okay, so and with a longsword.
Yes.
Okay, so you guys kind of charge this thing. Pernesta comes down and cuts with her longsword, two-handed, I'm assuming. And this thing splits, and the mouths are like, so they spit out the ichor, and it starts gibbering. It's like kind of folded in half. And then Revna, not really like kind of losing it, kind of comes in and cuts down that same spot, and actually cuts it fully in half. It falls in half and starts to just dissolve into green goo on the ground. You actually killed it. And then everybody who's confused, Helene's holding her hammer right over Revna's head. And then it's like, all right, hold on. I'll say it ends because the gibbering stops, because it's not really a spell. It's more like an effect because of the gibbering. So if you killed it, I say it stops. So yeah, you don't actually smack Revna.
Revna like sticks an arm up over her head. And she's looking at her hand. And she goes, "What the hell? Stop!"
And you wouldn't have had to cast that
Nothing.
spell
I didn't mean
unless
to do
you.
anything, you know.
Yeah, if it was like an attack spell or something, Tony, you wouldn't have to have cast it. But if you want to cast whatever it was, you certainly can.
Oh no, yeah, it was an attack spell. I was going to use
Okay.
the shock and grasp.
All right, yeah, no, you killed the thing. It kind of it bubbles, and then the ooze kind of sinks into the ground, and you actually see four pretty large emeralds sitting on the ground.
Buka, wipe the spittle from your face and pick those up.
Okay. Hey, these are nice.
Yes. Maybe you should poke another one.
I think I will. I said I'll use my own sword my own spear this time.
He's got his own spear the whole time. Oh man! All right, so that was the mouth there. One of my favorite monsters, actually. So I'm glad that it got to gibber. Oh, do you want to poke another one?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh no.
Scarlet,
Wait, let me
Crimson.
back out
yeah.
of the room first, but in case
Oh, come on.
You're gonna what? Go stand in the doorway?
What? This thing didn't do anything the last time.
Okay, fine, just poke one.
I think you should do one of the yellow ones. That is what it's telling me.
The yellow one?
Yes,
Yellow?
do the
Okay.
yellow one for me.
The light yellow one or the dark yellow one?
Well, there's
course,
gold and then there's yellow.
The yellow one.
The yellow
All right.
one.
Yep. Oh man. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So you come up and you make an attack roll. I mean, you're gonna break it. It's not like this time. Oh, is that what you just did? Okay. Yeah. You
Yep.
poke it. You poke this one, and immediately you hear, zzz, and the room just floods. It's like you poked a hornet's nest. The entire room just fills with bugs. Okay. Wow. All right. I have to see how this works. Stand by while I check with. It's
Yeah.
effectively casting the insect plague spell.
Now Revna is just like, oh yeah, just poke another one.
Right.
Hey, it's emeralds. It's
By
Just
by
stop.
Aramis's by Aramis's snaky head, Buka. If we die to these freaking bugs,
Like, are you these big heroes you die to being stung by hornets?
Yeah.
Okay. Vast swarm of insects comes. Okay. 34. Okay, so it's going to fill the room. Vision is reduced. For every round spent within. Okay. So essentially, well, I guess we'll roll initiative against it to see if you, assuming you don't want to stand there. I mean, if you'd like to stand there, you can certainly can, but I'm assuming you can run, of course, or do whatever. But you could do so you can make a move, if you win initiative. So, what is everybody's plan though? You see these like hornets and stuff start coming out. What is Panesta want to do?
yeah, I want to leave the room.
Okay. How about Puka?
I'm waiting for the jewels to drop out of the shell.
Okay, so you're gonna wait. How about Revna?
I'm waiting to catch whatever.
Revna is moving towards the door. The whole time she's flailing her hands, going, they're in my mouth.
So you're gonna run towards. Okay, how about Frigild?
Yeah, she's gonna move out the door too, but she's also gonna cast a spell, I guess, in segment 2 or whatever.
Okay. And Helene. Young, what's Helene want to do?
Yeah, she's gonna run. She's gonna curse at the same time. It's like, whose idea was it to poke that?
Okay. All right. So go ahead and roll initiative, Ravna or Rush. Oh, they got a 6. That's bad. But you can beat it because their initiative is not great. Okay. All right. Yeah. So you all start to to do whatever you're going to do, but the swarm hits too quickly. So even though you can actually move, you're all going to take 1 hit point of damage for being inside of it. And that's it. It just does 1 hit point of damage automatically. There's no attack roll or anything. And then everybody can move out of the. The thing is, they're going to go 20 feet because you're running out into the mirrors. It's the module says you have to make another saving throw because you're running out into that area. So everybody running out into the hallway needs to make a sorcerer saving throw.
Oh yeah, 19.
Nice. I don't know if
17.
anybody fails. Nice. Is that everybody? What about Rev?
I was making my way to the door, not through it.
So you're not leaving? Okay, so you'll be in the room another round.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys run out through the thing. Now, if you're not faster than 40 for your movement, you'll still be in the swarm at the end of this round, and you'll have to deal with it next round. Even if you ran out the door, because it goes all the way out the door to 20 feet. Sorry, let me just check this. That's all that happens there. Then you're casting a spell, right, Brigil? Go for it.
Yep. She's gonna her hands start turning this violet glow, almost color and stuff. And right now, that's all she's gonna do. I'm casting Chill Touch, but I'm not gonna use it yet until I have
Okay.
to do something else before I can use it.
Sounds good. Okay, coming into another round. Is everybody? Buka, do you want to leave the room? Nothing fell down. It's just filling with bugs or filled with bugs.
No, I'm holding ground.
Okay. So everybody whose movement is not more than 40 is going to take another point of damage because you didn't get out of the spray of the bugs. But then, of course, you can all move if you'd like. I think Helene's only 20, so you're going to actually be another round in the bugs no matter what you do.
If we run,
'cause she's
isn't
in
it twice the movement?
But that is correct. You're right. Yep. So you are twice the movement. So you'll get out this round because you can move exactly 40. So you're right. So actually, if your movement is not right, so if your movement is not actually, so I guess technically to get out of here, your movement only needs to be 30 because it's double. Thank you, Young. So if you have 30 or more movement, you're out of the bugs already. But if you have if you have 20, you're not. You're one more round. Or if you're standing there like Puka. All right, so you guys move out. Did you want to do something else now with the spell, Tony, or you're golden onto it?
Is it? Well, I'm out of the swarm because I have 40 movements. So will they
Okay.
still? Like, is it still coming towards us though, or not at this time?
No, it's not. It basically stops at 20 feet, so about halfway down the hallway.
Yeah, I'm not going to do anything then. I'm just going to stand there and wait out of the,
Okay. Yeah, so in the end, nothing falls down, Buka. Every round you're standing there, you will take a point of damage. So if you eventually want to leave, you're welcome to. It's going to stay for a while, though, the bugs, you realize after probably a few seconds. So I don't know how long you want to stay before you realize. Or if you want to hang out, you're more than welcome.
I'm going to hang out. I've been in areas with horrible black flies before, so this is nothing.
Okay. I mean, it's meta, but you can just tell me how long you want to stay. This thing is going to stay for a turn, which is 10 minutes, which is, of course, 60 rounds, which means you'll ultimately take 60 points of damage if you stay there the whole time. So I'm guessing you don't want to do that, but
I don't
you
do
tell
that.
me. Yeah, you tell me how many points of damage you take before you leave.
I'll take 10 points of damage and then leave.
Okay, and then finally leave. It'd be like, this isn't happening. All right. Yeah,
Once
so
my eyes
that,
start swelling shut, then I'll go.
right.
When Buka walks out with 10 points of damage, Helene just glares at him and just turns away.
It's like you brought that upon yourself.
Yeah.
So I mean, you come out. That's like I don't know, 10 rounds or something. So it's not very long. It's like a minute and a half or something. You can see the room's still full of bugs. What did you guys want to do? You're all basically, I'm gonna say you retreated back to room 1 for the most part.
You're not going to go back in there and poke anymore, Bilka?
Well, I'm going to wait for it to clear out. I mean,
Sad
we could
part
try
is,
the gold one next. I mean, gold might be gold.
the sad part is this is a perfect use of Ruin Siege's fireball, but it's gonna A, destroy everything else in the room, and B, pop all the rest of the bubbles simultaneously, so we'll have all those bad things to deal with at once. But the bugs would be gone.
Nice.
It's not like lighting your house on fire because you see a spider. I mean, that's what that feels like.
Yeah.
Maybe we could see what's behind the cold door.
Yeah,
supposed-
let's
While we're
Alright.
waiting.
I didn't trust those mirrors either.
Yeah,
Never
you
trust a
definitely got a
mirror.
weird feeling about the mirrors here. All right, yeah, you can open up the other door. You had already checked it before and felt like it was pretty safe. So when you open this one, you see, again, another hallway coming down with a door at the end. This one has on the floor, spaced out, as you might notice there from the very obvious picture, there are 3 large holes in the ground. This corridor contains 3 yawning, brick-faced pits that descend into the darkness. A draught of cold air blows from the pits. So you've got about 8-inch ledges along the sides of each pit, which, theoretically you could sidle across. And yeah. So yeah, 3 yawning pits into the darkness with ledges.
Yeah,
And then
how
of course a
about-
door at this way.
10 foot wide, you said, roughly?
Yeah, they basically take up most of the corridor. You've got 8-inch ledges on the side. Effectively, like mechanically, you would need to make a test of dexterity to kind of work your way across without falling in, unless you have some means to get over them otherwise.
I wish we could fly over there. Look for Pinesta.
We could do that, yes. Is the ceiling high enough for me to just kind of crouch on the...
Oh yeah, this is 15 feet high. It depends on how,
Yep, I can ferry everybody over.
Why don't you take Revna first? And since she still has the side of she can see better, and let her at least check that door first and maybe listen to that door before we all go over there.
That's fine. And I also just want to... Is there a way we could throw a torch or something? I'd hate to be flying over the pit and have something reach out and grab me and pull me down there.
Well, we just get Buka to poke it and see what he stirs out of it.
Yeah.
Or
I'll
you
go
just
poke it.
put me on the edge and just let me peer down.
Well, we can tie you off with a rope, so in case something wants to grab you, we can pull you back.
Well, does anybody have any spare torches?
Nothing's gonna grab her.
Just
I'll
light
go
us.
here. I'll just go look. Somebody give me a lantern. I'll go look.
She stops Buka and just
Nothing's
says,
gonna grab me.
just stand there for a minute.
No, nothing's
And
gonna
then-
grab me. Just give me a lantern.
You will have to slap him to make him understand.
Okay. How many times have you walked up to a pit and something grabbed?
You know, you two, I have the power to marry you.
I have never walked up to a pit and had something grab. It's not gonna happen now.
So
Okay.
as he walks up to the pit, I'm gonna light a torch, and as soon as he peers over, I'm gonna run up behind him and like grab him by his belt and go like that, and then I'm gonna throw the torch down,
Okay.
make him think he's being pushed in.
Oh, you gotta do the fake push thing.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Nice. Wow.
He's gonna go berserk and kill us all.
Yeah, exactly. Cut to the scene of Abuka walking out with the bloody axe.
Yeah,
Yeah, you could. I mean, so Abuka, you're gonna walk up and you know.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, he can get to the pit and look in it way before you can light a torch. So, I mean, you certainly can scare him when he gets to the edge. But you walk up, it looks very, very dark, like unnaturally dark. Because of course the whole place is dark. But you dangle your lantern over it. You hear them lighting a torch behind you. You know, but it's black, like super, super dark. You can see the edges of it obviously are brick. And again, there's like a cool breeze. And then somebody grabs you from behind. And throws a
And
torch in
it's-
there.
Torch goes whizzing by your head
Yeah.
down into the pit. So now we
Yeah.
can see.
Yeah, it drops down. I mean, you watch it go down, you know.
It just disappears.
How strong is Revna?
Not very.
Revna follows the torch. Tell us how deep it is.
How strong is Revna? How strong is Revna? 11.
Oh.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
yeah. How deep is this pit?
I'm extraordinarily nimble, though.
it goes far enough down that the torch becomes a smaller and smaller spot of light until eventually it is gone.
Wow, that's
Oh, this is deep.
way down there.
Yeah,
It'd be a
you
shame
never
if
hear
you
it hit the
would
bottom.
Fall.
It would be. It'd be ashamed if I stabbed you in the arm and made you come with me.
It'd be terrible.
It would be. And I look back at Panesta and I'm just like, yeah, I don't think anything's going to grab you unless it's got really long arms. And I mean really long arms.
I think it's a bottomless pit.
It's not bottomless.
Oh,
You saw the
no.
damn torch hit the bottom.
No, it didn't. It just
Yes,
kept
it-
going.
No, it didn't. It's right there. You can see it right down there.
No. I didn't
Are
see
you-
it.
Are you blind?
No.
Oh, well, it's right there. It's just a little tiny torch.
Where?
No, I mean, it eventually disappears. Sorry if you misunderstood me.
Yeah.
No, it's gone.
I did misunderstand you. I thought you said
No. It disappears into a tiny spot of light, and then it's gone.
Yeah. See?
So I look at Panessa and go, I think it might be a bottomless pit.
It's like, no, it's right there. Oh, hold on. No, that's just something in my eye.
No, it's that crazy spell that Brighild casts. It's like I had like stars because I looked at the torch, and so now there's stars in my
Yep.
eyes.
Totally messed you up.
Actually, that's what
Well,
happened.
then-
You, because of the infrared vision, you were actually seeing it further than everybody else. You were like, no, I can
Yeah.
still see it. I can still.
Yeah.
Oh, now it's gone.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Then I think
So yeah, good.
we need to be excessively careful.
Of
Yeah,
a bottomless pit?
Well, so nobody falls. I can take people around the carpet.
you also don't know if the next one's bottomless.
Ugh, true. I'm going to assume they're all bottomless. Just
That's a
Why?
good assumption. Let's go.
Why?
Let's
Why
ride.
do you do this to her?
Let's ride Red Egg.
Why?
All right, I'm gonna take Revna over first, and so help me.
Yeah,
something-
drop her off in the second one.
He's
We'll
just
see how
mad.
far she goes.
You're
No,
just
no, I'm gonna
jealous.
take her across all three.
You just gotta go across all three to where the door is at the end.
Yes, I look at
Okay.
Vanessa. I'm like, I've never gotten a ride on this thing yet. By the way, just pointing that out. So, kind of super excited, but also kind of disappointed that I'm literally only going to get to fly down the hallway. But
Well, let me ask you this really quick, because Buka, maybe he doesn't know as much about magic. Is this darkness? I mean,
it's what?
is it a darkness spell?
No, it really. If it was a darkness spell, it would have just fallen a little ways and then poof, been gone. No, but we were able to watch it like literally go far away, and then just dwindle into nothing.
Yeah,
Okay.
Buka's not deaf either.
You know I love you, darling. I just have to make sure of these things. This is my flying carpet. I'm not losing it again.
I look over. Excuse me. Ladies are talking.
Yes, that's right. I am deaf. I'm sorry. What?
All right, I'm gonna try it. We'll get on. I mean, the worst thing that can happen is this conversation stops happening. So we'll just get on the carpet and we'll go across.
Yes.
All right, yeah, so you get on the carpet. I mean, it's not very far. You're able to fly. You fly all the way to the end, right?
Yes, all the way to the end. I want to drop her
Okay,
off at the
yeah.
door. First one, yeah.
You can go across. I mean, you're carrying... No, you're not carrying a light source, right? So you can't really see down into the other pits, but you assume that they're also very deep. And you get to the other side and drop Revna off. And
I will begin.
you
checking
gotta
the
just
door.
you gotta stay there with Revna, right? You're not coming back yet.
I'll wait till she checks the door to make sure nothing's gonna bust out of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just asking. It's good to know so everybody's on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
Same kind of door. No lock. Just basically bronze, beautiful bronze door. You check it. You don't hear anything on the other side, nor do you see any kind of indication that it'd be any kind of a trap.
Yeah. I was telling Vanessa I'm gonna wait here until you get the others across.
Okay, so you're
I
gonna
would do the
pile into
ferry.
that one spot. Okay, so we're gonna
I mean,
pile
as
into
many
that
as
one.
of us can fit, I guess.
Well, I mean, if you're, I mean, you couldn't all fight in a 10-foot square, but I'm sure that 6 people can fit in a 10-foot area. You'll just be tight. Krista, are you officially back?
She's trying to.
Okay, that's cool. I didn't want to be ignoring her, but
Her computer forced her to do
she can't hear.
an update.
Yeah, okay. Okay, no worries. So, yeah, everybody gets over to the other side, and you're doing your normal procedure. I don't mean to put words in your mouth. I'm just doing the procedure you have been doing. If you want to change something, let me know. Dropped out again. Just going to try to come back. This one opens up into kind of an interesting space. Okay. The whitewashed walls and 20-foot-high vaulted ceiling of this room are typical for the interior of the mount, so as I've been describing. But the floor is something quite different. It's nothing less than a great orrery. Did I say it right? Orrery, O-R-R-E-R-Y. Like the... would anybody know what that is? Probably the magic users would understand what that is, right? It's like a star chart based on our planet chart. Okay. Well, I mean, I know we all know what it is, but which characters might know? So probably Buka doesn't know, but everybody else, because everybody else has magic. All right, so there's no area on the ground. It's laid out in mosaic tiles. In the center of the room is a shining golden disc 5 feet in diameter. 9 concentric golden rings surround this sun, that's quotes, in intervals of 2 1/2 feet. And each ring bears a 1-foot disc of its own, white, green, blue, red, orange, yellow, purple, silver, and black, in order from the mosaic sun outwards. So basically, the closest one to you is the black one. Well, I mean, the closest one to you ring-wise, not closest physically. Because that order that I just read is from the sun outwards. Pale, multicolored radiance exuded by the sun and planets dimly illumines the chamber. More wondrous still, the orbiting spheres appear to be in motion, slowly creeping around the sun with the subtle rippling of the mosaic floor tiles. A golden key is plainly visible lying atop the sun in the very center of the room. Okay.
Didn't the okay. So after we get it open and I see the key, I kind of lean over to everybody. I say, didn't the thing that you guys read before said something about no cheap trinket will be the key?
Yes. Yep.
Well, that looks like an actual key made of gold.
That actually looks like a huge trap.
Probably. But
What do you
that's
do?
I'm here to
do you-
find them, and you're here to kill whatever comes out. Remember, so
Do not tell him that. Do not go and poke anything in this room, Buka.
I'm not, because that just looks like instant death to me.
so the key is right on top of the sun. You said.
That's right, the center of the room.
Okay, so I am going to make my way across, checking, utterly fascinated by this this solar system map, and wishing that she had time to look at it in greater detail. She's going to make her way over to where the sun is and carefully inspect around it.
Okay, so you're gonna walk across the just straight across the center, just walk across
I'm
to
not.
the.
I mean, a thief never just walks across. I mean, I'm going to be trying to look as I go for anything that might resemble a floor plate or anything like that. But I mean, I'm
Well,
not
what
going to be
would you-
like down on my
would-
hands and knees inspecting every brick. No.
Well, I mean, what you can see on the floor is mosaic tiles. You just see these like essentially these rings
Yeah.
that and
You
they're
want
shifting as you go.
You want
Yeah.
the potion of levitation?
Ooh.
I don't know how
Uh,
helpful it would be, but
Well, I mean, if any of these if what does the rest of the craftsmanship in this room look like? Does it look really good? Like somebody
Oh, yeah.
really? Okay, so I will say, well, the craftsmanship in here is top notch. So it wouldn't be hard to make one of these floor tiles a pressure plate and you not be able to see it. So unless I'm going to inspect every tile on my hands and knees as I make my way across the floor, the potion would certainly be quicker.
If I
Okay.
could make if I could make a suggestion, if you are intent on walking on top of it, then I would suggest that you stay on the ring.
Yeah, but I have to. Oh, you mean step from ring to ring to ring?
Yes, that's
Uh,
my suggestion. For
well-
some reason, I feel that's the right way. But like Panesta did mention, we have a potion that would make you float. And Panesta herself has just ferried us across a bottomless trio of bottomless pits on her carpet. Why do we bother walking across?
Well, I wasn't planning to walk across. The rings are a good suggestion, but stepping across the rings, we either A, run the risk of being wrong, or B, run the risk of screwing it up. So I'd rather float. If we don't mind using the potion for that.
I mean, I don't mind. But
Okay.
if everybody else minds, I don't know, but I certainly don't.
Well, I guess that answers it. So I kind of stick my hand out to whoever's got the potion.
Yep, I hand it to you. It says it works as the levitate spell, except for normal potion duration.
Okay.
Which is approximately.
Sorry,
Okay, hold
standard
on.
potion.
Okay, actually, I just want to check
levitation-
this. Yeah, you can actually, when you talk about the potion and you're getting ready to drink it, Talos will say, don't waste that. I can cast upon you the same spell.
All right.
I like it.
And
And that's
he actually has levitate as a spell, so he'll actually cast it on you.
I hand her
Oh,
the
yeah.
potion back and I say, well, there you have it. And as I float off the floor, I'm like, ooh, like that. And then I float across the rings over to the sun. And if
Okay.
I'm levitating, I should
Do you
hopefully.
get lateral movement with levitation spell, or do you just simply stay up? You got to push
Yeah,
yourself.
gotta push yourself off the ceiling or something.
Oh, nice. Well, that's going to
Yeah.
make it hard to inspect the sun for a trap.
Well, you can float up to the ceiling, walk across, and then float back down.
Okay.
But you can't fly. It's not a fly spell, if that
All right.
makes sense.
Yeah. All right. So I'll try that.
Okay.
I wanna
Let me just check. 1 turn per. Okay, yeah, you go. Yeah, you can definitely do it. You're gonna have to move pretty quickly because it's gonna take you 1, 2, 3 because your movement is only 10 because it's slow walking with essentially on your hands. So, but he says it'll last for a little while. So you got a little time. So yeah, you can make your way across. If you float up to the ceiling, which of course is like the rest of the place, domed and clean and white, you float up to the ceiling and you're able to kind of like push yourself over the top of the sun ring, and you can lower yourself back down if you want.
I want to lower myself down and try and inspect to see if there's any kind of a pressure mechanism or anything that the key is sitting on.
No. Do you want to have him land? He has to actually bring you up and down, so you're basically telling him what to do with you. Do you want to have him put you on the ground, or you want to just float above it?
I want to float right above the key, right above the sun, because
right.
I tell him that my goal is to just reach down and pick the key up.
So what you're doing is basically a Mission Impossible.
Yeah, but without the strings.
Right, the strings of a wizard.
But I don't want this thing to do an Indiana Jones on me when I take the key off either.
Yeah. So you're you know what? I'll have you roll because you're going to take the key if you don't see a trap, right? That's basically the plan.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So go ahead and roll a d12. You need to get a 1 through 6. You see if there's a trap, and over that you don't. So basically, you'll set it off otherwise.
You said a D12?
Yep, d12. Your chance is 6 out of 12. So to discern if there's a trap there or not.
Roll.
Beyond the, I mean, it doesn't look like anything, but you can use yours, pretty natural. Oh yeah. No, it looks totally clean. It's just sitting on there.
Okay. So I reach down with 2 fingers or 3 fingers, and I pick the key off the sun.
Okay.
When I pick it, I sit there in my whole body and I go, and tense up, waiting for something to smash me.
Yep. Nope. Yeah, you grab it, and then Talos looks at you, and he sticks his hand out and brings you up to the ceiling again. And then, of course, he's just holding you there while you kind of hand yourself back. I'm assuming you're going back, right?
Yes, I
Yeah.
stick the key in a pouch, and I'm trying to get back to the door as quickly as possible.
Yeah, you should pretty easily be able to do it. So you get back to the door, and he lowers you down, and you can, drops the spell. And yeah, you have a gold key.
Yes.
When you step out of the room, which basically you're doing in order to get the key out of the room without stepping on anything, the motion of the mosaic stops.
The what stops?
The motion of the mosaic, because remember the mosaic's been moving on the ground the whole time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it stops. So basically the room stops moving.
We should get back to the place where they wanted the key. Was the statue
You're going to have to go back across the pits, which you
Yeah.
certainly can do.
Yeah, it was back in that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, let's just say, because it's 11 now, so let's say that you're going to ferry everybody back, and we'll start off next time back in room 1 again. You can ferry across. I mean, you have the flying carpet, and nothing's really chasing you, so it shouldn't be a problem to get across. Unless somebody wants to jump into the pit.
Nope.
So we'll put you back in room 1. The statue is there. We can, again, Talos, whose spell is still working. Again, he'll read it again. I guard the tomb of Kaven, the illustrious sage and sorcerer, mighty king of Hyperborea. No cheap trinket shall serve as a passkey. All right.
So I reach into my pouch and I pull the key out and I hand it to Pinesta and I go, "Your key, darling." And then I ask Talos, please, to let me have my feet back.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he would have dispelled the spell. All right, and we'll start back in room 1 next time. So.
Sounds
Alrighty.